Guess I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible now before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Susceptible now before the moment flies.
Shout out, shout out, shout out. It is Friday night. TGIA. Thank God I'm alive. TGIA. Glad that you guys are out there ready to have a great evening. We have a wonderful topic. Let me throw some music on for us right now. Get this day started. It is a wonderful, wonderful weekend that's coming up. Hope you guys had a great work week, especially since you guys had a day off. I didn't know if you guys got 2 days off or if you only got the 4th of July off. Either way, I'm glad to see that you guys are here enjoying this weekend with us here on Andrea and Andrea's Love Crossing Borders. We got a great show tonight. Oh, yeah, we got some good music going. Live stream is looking great. Let me make sure to check on the Wi-Fi because you know how sometimes we be struggle streaming over here. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit clearer, but there we go. All right. Shout out to you guys being in the building. Glad that you guys have been here for this week's series on Is America the Greatest Country in the World? We've heard this several times over throughout our lifetimes. We live in the greatest country in the world. In many of our eyes, we do. The opportunities that we've had, the knowledge and insight, the history that we've had as a people to grow this country over the last 500 years to be the country in which it is today. But the question still remains, is America the greatest country of all time? We're not saying that America has all flaws, but we're not saying that America is as perfect as we've been told and sold for it to be. So all week long, we've already looked at when it comes to how America treats veterans. Is it the greatest of all time? Well, the answer is to that, it's up to you to decide. When it comes to relationships and marriage, is America the greatest country in the world? Once again, that's up to you to decide because we've noticed that it hasn't been. When it comes to food, we looked at, and when it came to healthcare, we've already proven that America is not the greatest country in the world, especially in history when it comes to food, healthcare, marriage, relationships, and even how you treat veterans. But one thing we're going to look at today in this part, we're going to look at how America, the greatest country in the world, our country, 'tis of thee that we love so much, how is the race relations and race gap when it comes to economic gap, how is that playing right now live in the United States? We're not talking about 1960. We're not talking about during the Reformation age or after slavery. We're talking, okay, it's come back. Thank you guys for your patience in regards to it froze for a split second. Shout out to you guys being here. Let me get to these super chats. Shout out to my man Will in the building. Shout out to you being here. Will says, greetings, Andre, and chat. Like we always say on this channel, chat lives matter. He says, smash the like button, support Black Male Media Challenge drop. Okay, we're back. Okay, challenge drop is drop knowledge on the first person you come in contact with. The first person that came in contact, they say drop knowledge on the first person you come in contact with. Okay, so in other words, the next person that you come in contact with, drop a little bit of knowledge on any particular topic, subject matter that's important to you. Drop a little knowledge on them about that. The reason why we're talking about is America the greatest country in the world, because a lot of times we hear people say it and we assume it to be true because we hear it over and over again, but a lot of us hadn't done the homework. So this week we dedicated to see if this is true, not to debunk anything or not to shame our country, but to showcase that there are some areas in the United States that we still need to work on. So thus, that's the reason why we considered talking about the United States. Is it the greatest country in the world? And the other reason why we talk about this, because, hey, come on, this channel is Love Crossing Borders. And there are many of you that are interested in crossing borders. And some of you are a little hesitant about that because you think that you're going to be missing out on something if you leave the United States. Even though there are over 9 million of us U.S. citizens, yes, we're just as American as you are, U.S. citizens that live in other countries. Therefore, it is not a problem if you were to decide to relocate to another country and still be all red, white, and blue, just like you are today. Shout out to you guys being here. My man Jay has gifted. He's blessed the gifts. Shout out to Jay. He's gifted 5 people to become members. Shout out to you guys who are members right now because of JJ it being in the building. Also, shout out to my man Will of Thrill gifted another one. He's always gifting somebody on a daily basis. So all you guys that are channel members, we are going to be starting now. We can officially start, because this is like 100 of you guys now. We're going to officially start doing live streams that are dedicated to you guys. Just like we did the live stream when it came to the veterans, the part 2 is going to be a members only. I'll say that again. The part 2 to the veterans interview, I got the guy that really knows just as much as all of us, as well as bringing some of these other guys back up, is going to be a membership only. So all you guys that saw that part 1 and you think that part 1 of what we shared regarding veterans, as well as civilian jobs in other countries, as well as civilian contract jobs. So if you are a person that says, well, I'm not a veteran, Dre, so I don't see why you're putting that on membership. Well, we're also talking about civilian contract jobs that pay almost up to $100,000 to $120,000 a year, tax-free. I know you want to get in on that if you plan on relocating to another country. And that's how important that is for you to be able to get that information. So definitely, guys, definitely you want to take advantage of that. And once again, let me scroll here. Go to downloads. I got a video that I have for us, a really good video and I don't see it at all. I know what I can do. One horse. There we go. Oh, okay. I see where it went into. I see where it's going into. Let's go to documents, downloads, right here. Okay, I know what I'll do. No problem at all. Give me a second, guys. I'm just logging into the video that I want to download and show us. For some reason, it wasn't downloading onto my computer. I don't know why, but it's okay, because it's important information that I want to share with us today in regards to race relations. Okay, cool. Perfect. All right, perfect. All right, great. Hope I'm not freezing on you guys at all. All right, shout outs. Let's get ready to continue on with these shout outs for Friday evening. We got my man Don, aka the Don JP, in the building. Shout out to you being here. Greetings, everyone. Andre and Andrea. Good evening to all in the chat. Big bro, you've been hitting them out of the park for real. Knocking them out. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to my man Dave in the building. I appreciate that, Don. I really do. I appreciate that. Shout out to my man David being in the building. Salute Andre, and family. Happy Friday to us all. Yes, sir. Happy Friday to us all. As well as my man. Let's scroll down. We got JJ. We got David. We got 40 people in the building. Make sure you guys click that like button. We like you. Make sure you like us too, because you already know.
Oprah coming next. Once I establish this as a place of truth. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shout out to you. My man LJ is in the building as well. The Southern vegan, eating all healthy like that. I like that. Salute chat and everyone tonight. Shout out to you guys. Ian B, my boy in the building. Mr. Colombia himself. Shout out to you. Buenas noches. Good evening to you, kind sir, as well. DJ Davis is in the building representing also. Love W, always here doing great. Always showing love. Always showing love. Letting everybody know to like, share, and subscribe. This is going to be an excellent live stream, guys. I'm telling you. Very informative live stream. I'm excited about this. I really am. Let me go ahead and make sure that it's downloading correctly. The video is downloading for us correctly. I don't know why it didn't go to where it usually goes to, but it's okay. It's okay. Let's see. Let's go right here. Let me check here. Nope, that's not it. Let's go here and check. Thank you guys for your patience for a second. Like I said, I'm just trying to get the video. Okay. Okay. So I gotta do that. So here we go. Go here and come back to where we are. And we get a chance to find out tonight, where does America rank in the world when it comes to racial equality? Is America in the top 20, top 30, maybe even the top 40, or even the top 5 countries in the world when it comes to racial equality? We're going to discuss that this evening, as well as other things that we're going to find out today on Love Crossing Borders. Give me a second. Thank you very much. I don't know why it's not open. Let's go here. I'm trying to pull down a video that I have. Let's see. There we go.
$1, how America.
Okay, here we go. We're going to get started with that video in a moment. Like I said, one monkey don't stop no show. I'll let that continue on. All right, here we go. My man Abraham's in the building. Father of many nations is here. Shout out to you, brother, being here. Show you on the screen. He said, blessings, family. He said, listening while I drive. Oh, this is going to be a good one, brother. Real good one. Shout out to my man Lupe in the building. Buenas noches, mi amigos. Buenas noches. Mad Villainy is in the building. Greetings to you too, kind sir. Greetings to you and DJ Davis. He said, hell no, as a vet, he said, and honorably discharge one without any monthly pay. Wow. Wow, that is madness. My man down Tar Heels, them Carolina boys at it again. Shout out to you being here. Glad to see that you're here. He said, let's get it, fam. He said, I'm getting all my questions ready before booking my consultation. Oh yeah, I just did a couple consultations over the past week. So had one this today, man. I like meeting you guys, man. I won't even lie to you. I'll be so excited for you guys, especially you guys that are coming for your first trip. Oh man, you can't tell me nothing then. I'm always excited for you guys that are coming down for your first trip. Oh yeah. So let's go right here. And we are good. We are. And let me see if I can keep up with what you guys are saying. Remember, today is Friday night drinking hand. Let me know what you guys are drinking. I don't care what it is, whatever your favorite elixir is. Let me know what it is that you guys are enjoying. Let me put up this live stream so I can enjoy it myself. There we go. Turn that volume down. Okay, here we go. This is all the fun part when you're going live. There we go. Okay, I don't know why it gave me Donald Trump's speech. There we go. Oh, we got the map up already. Let's answer this question. No, let's answer this question. Where do you guys think out of 154 countries that the United States ranks when it comes to race relations? Where does the United States rank when it comes to race relations? When it comes to racial equality? You got 124 countries. What do you guys think the United States rank as far as racial equality? There are a lot of racist countries out there. A lot of racist countries out there. There are countries out there that have decided that there will not be any racial equality if it's up to them. There are countries out there that actually have slavery still in existence. That actually still have slavery still in existence. So what is the United States? What do you think the United States ranks when it comes to these countries? We're a rather young country. We shouldn't be too low on the ranking. 124 countries. Let's see what you guys have to say. Frank says work relations. He said 120, 125. Dave says 100. We got 126. JJ says 126. We got 124. Shout out to my man. Big Brother in Life says they just at the bottom. My man GJ says, and the highest that I see is JJ saying, JJ, I think you put 2 answers in here. Oh, he meant 126, not 6. Okay. He said, you drinking water tonight? I'm drinking water tonight with a little bit of honey and a lime. That's what I'm drinking tonight. My man said he just doing beer. We got pineapple. We all keeping it simple tonight. A little bit of rum. Not too much, not too little. Everybody's just drinking a little bit. See what I'm saying? People in life need some chin checking. Yeah. My man Jay Anderson says, let me hit this real quick. He says, salute to the family and Andrea Love Crossing Borders. Great live stream last night, Dre. And that's why he says some people need a chin check every once in a while. Shout out to my man Black Nubian being in here, the Canadian boys.
He said, oh, Canada.
Always at it again with the $2 super sticker. Shout out to you, brother, for the love of the game. Shout out to you, brother, for being here. We got 118. That's a good one. That's a good answer. Let's see. We got 126. We got 100. Top 10 as far as racial equality, as far as looking out for your people. Okay, let's see. Uriah's in the building. My favorite Bible name representing. Uh-oh, I hit the wrong one.
Trigger City. Let's get it.
Let's get it. He said, salute Dre. He said, salute to the chat and on the road, but I'm listening. All right, brother. Be safe out there, all you truck drivers, all you guys that are driving home from work, or you just, my man Antonio said, low. Yeah. We got some tequila in the building. Oh, man, that sounds good. That sounds good. He said, I'll get my drink when I stop. All right, guys. He said, I'm about to drink some red stripe. Oh, with the red snapper fish. Now that's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. That is how it's done. That is how it's done. Emmanuel's in the building. He says this, good evening, Andre and crew. Is the Petronio Alvarez Festival worth all of the hype? It's worth all of the hype and even more. I kid you not. I have been coming to Colombia. I have been in Cali for about 3 years. And every year I had missed it. When I finally got a chance to be here and I was living full time, COVID hit. So they didn't have it that year in 2020. 2021 was like, 2022 better. But 2023 was bananas. It was the food, the people, the energy, just the whole thing, man. It's huge. It's getting bigger and bigger. They just had the Petronio Alvarez Festival celebration where they flew out the performers in Cali, Colombia. They flew them to South Africa, and they performed in Africa. Then they perform. A lot of people don't know they performed last year for the Essence Festival. Yeah, last year's Essence Festival. They had a whole Petronio Alvarez section, and it was packed full of brothers and sisters from the States enjoying Afro-Colombian music. Then they had a little small one in Washington, D.C. on December 17th last year. So it is spreading, and Brazil also celebrated it too last year for the first time. So it's spreading from just a small Afro-Colombian celebration. Now it's everywhere where people are starting to understand, enjoy Afro-Colombian music. And remember, it's not just all free concerts. This is a competition. It's not like you just have your favorite performers come up and they perform. Some of those do. But each night is a competition of these bands. These people are the best of the best Afro-Colombian performers that have been rehearsing all year round to win this competition, to be able to go to other locations around the world and represent the music of Afro-Colombians. And the person who he was, Petronio Alvarez. He said, out of all the quotes, Andre said, the best one is America is only 4% of the population. This is so true. A lot of us don't even realize that. America is only 300 to 500 years old, and we're only 400% of the population. 4% of the population. So when we sit back and we say America is the greatest of all time, so did the Romans say that. Didn't the Egyptians say that? What about the Persian Empire? I know Genghis Khan said that. The British said that. What, Mesopotamia said that? What empire, what true empire has not used that term, we're the greatest of all time? But we are of all time. Go back to the Roman Empire, they would laugh at America for even saying something like that. Go back to the British Empire in my lifetime. Come on, guys. Those of you who were around prior to the late 80s, when Britain owned land and had control over many parts of the world, where the saying was the sun never goes down on the British Empire. You couldn't tell Britain nothing for hundreds of years. The British pound was the currency that was used before the dollar globally. I was around for that. So this little statement of America's the greatest. That's brand new. But we're not the only ones to ever run our mouths and say something like that. So go back to Egypt and hear the Egyptians with hieroglyphics. They believed that they were the greatest of all time as well. They created libraries, mathematics, medicine. So we can't sit back and say, well, we created this. What we use today, the Egyptians created. The Persian Empire and the Greek Empire showed us warfare, how to do warfare strategically. Genghis Khan and the Mongols showed us how to take over land, up on land, up on land, up on land. And let's not forget about the Chinese empires that taught us about regalness and royalty, as well as the Japanese empires. That there's a hierarchy to this thing, and that this family can leave legacy to family, can leave legacy to family until somebody get wiped out. We didn't create the Senate. That's a Roman thing. Congress, Roman thing. A judicial system, Roman. So when it comes to saying that we're created or we invented, are we the only ones that created and invented? Yeah, Seeking Understanding said the Babylonian Empire would laugh at the current American and British Empire. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. He said, actually, it was Abraham who taught the Egyptians mathematics and astrology, but that's another conversation. Could be, but it started in Egypt when it came to spreading it around the world. When it comes to mathematics and libraries, it didn't start in Greece. The Greeks went to Egypt to learn what the heck is this thing called a library? What is this thing called mathematics you speak of? Medications, how do you do that? So we may say that Abraham, one man used by God, brought it to Egypt, could be. But at the end of the day, the country of Egypt with Abraham in it gets the credit. We're talking about the country, not the individuals. But that's a good point. That's a good point. And he said the Chinese should never have shown brand gun. Yeah, gunpowder. They came with the gunpowder. Look at how that worked out. So when I hear people say, and I hear this from people, it's not our job to correct our citizens when it comes to America being the greatest of all time. Let them think what they want to think. Because most Americans, they only have one argument. You ready? Y'all ready? Here's their argument. We have the most, well, actually three. We have the most opportunities economically. We have the strongest military. And number three is the one that gets on my last nerve. Everybody wants to come here. No, everybody that's broker than broke, that's broke, comes to America. Usually the success of a family is like during the father's later years, who came when he was in his 20s or teens, or the father and mother, the son or the daughter is the first one to start that business. Like, yes, my mother and father were immigrants. The reason why I'm running for Congress, because my father was an immigrant. It's usually not the first generation that succeeds, unless that person that from the first generation came to the United States in his teens. In other words, America is a country of opportunity, but usually it's not for that generation that comes first. It's usually like the second or third tier of generation that you see. My granddad came here first, and that's why I'm able to go to this college. But tonight we're talking about that all-inclusive part that everybody wants to duck and dodge from: racial and economic equality. So let's look it up. Let's take a quick glance. Let's take a gander. This is a map when it comes to racial equality. Which countries, the dark blues, are the ones that don't show the most love, and the ones that are lighter, they show you more equality. So let's take a look at the top 10 list of countries that show forth at least some form of racial equality. First country that we're looking at is New Zealand. Let me sure you guys can see that. New Zealand is number 1. Canada, number 2 when it comes to racial equality. Now, we didn't say racial perfection because there are a lot of people in Canada that say, wait a minute, there's a lot of racism here. Yes, it is. But we're talking about in comparison as a sum total, as a global unit of 9 billion people, Canada is doing better. For all you that want to complain about Canada, do realize, I know we understand there's a lot of changes that need to be made in Canada, but yet it ranks number 2 in comparison to a lot of countries. Netherlands, number 3, Sweden, Norway, Switzerland, Denmark, Belgium, number 8, Finland, and Ireland. I really don't like this particular list, even though I have to go with it. What is these top 10 countries that have the least racism have in common? They're majority white. You ain't got that many black folks and Latin folks in Finland. So you ain't gonna find that much racism. Switzerland, everybody dang near blonde and blue-eyed. So you ain't gonna find too much racism. Ireland, you got black Irish, but it ain't that many of us there. So when in this top 10 list, I believe that it's skewed due to the fact that there's not many other races to compare it to when it comes to racism. Canada, I would say, that is the only one that I see that has the diversity in this top 10 list that most of us can really judge racism by. So shout out to Canada. But New Zealand and all the rest of these are predominantly white countries. So at the end of the day, are they really in the top 10 when they don't have that many other races there? Really? Who the hell wants to be in the cold of Finland anyway? Denmark. Good places to visit, but ain't too many brothers in there. Ain't too many expats and passport bros and sisters going to these locations. But let's talk about, okay, let's see what countries made the list. Okay, here we go. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Of the countries that have the most racial equality. Switzerland, once again, white. Denmark, white. Finland, white. Now we're going to be a little bit more diversity. That's cool to see Portugal at number 13 because Portugal is a very diverse country. It really is. Now, mind you, when I say this again, it's not that these countries have no racism. It's just that when it comes to racial equality, when it comes to jobs, business, economic equality, they don't have it as bad as other countries. For example, number 16, UK. Some guys will say UK number 16, racial equality. Hey, I didn't make the list. This is 2023 list going into 2024. Italy number 17, Germany number 18, Switzerland Singapore number 19, Brazil number 20. I can see that. I can see Brazil with his diversity, but there's a lot of inequality in Brazil that needs to be worked on too. Same thing in Spain. Argentina number 20. Notice we have gone over the top 20 list when it comes to racial equality. We are in number 27. We have not seen the United States, have we? When it comes to a country being racially equal, we have not seen the United States. Shout out to you being here, Big Pit. Portugal started the modern slave trade in 1440. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Shout out to you, Big Papa, New York, NYC in the building. Shout out to you. So let's go back to the list. South Africa, 23. You mean South Africa has better racial equality than the United States? Let's look at how we're looking at this, because we're talking about our country. Greece, Poland, Mexico, number 27. Costa Rica, Belgium, Bulgaria, Cameroon. See what I'm saying? All the way down to Hungary, number 34. We are in our 30s and we've yet to see the United States of 124 countries. This right here is the ranking of 2023. Over here was the ranking of racial equality for 2022. DR, number 36 for racial equality. As much that's going on between the Haitians and the Dominicans, how they treat each other. We know they treat each other bad. Even they rank higher than the United States when it comes to racial equality. Indonesia, Morocco, Thailand makes it at number 39. Number 39 for Thailand. Japan don't like nobody. I'm gonna say this again. If you mix with white in Japan, they don't like you. You mix with black in Japan, they don't like you. You mix with Latin or Chinese. If you ain't 100% Japanese, Japan don't like you. And they still made it when it comes to racial equality to number 40. Have we yet to see the United States? Let's continue on. Peru, number 43. Jordan, Egypt is doing better than the United States. Malaysia is better than the United States. Slovakia is better than the United States. Ukraine and all its hell is better than the United States at number 49. We've hit 50 countries when it comes to racial equality, gentlemen, ladies. And we have yet to see the United States on the list. Have you noticed that? We see Romania. We see Chile. We see Panama. We see all these other countries. Colombia, number 54 when it comes to racial equality. So out of 124 countries, Colombia ranks 54. We got Ecuador coming up, China, who don't like nobody either, and they rank at least number 57. Pray tell, where is the United States? Philippines 61, Czech Republic number 63. See what I'm saying? South Korea number 60. Cambodia with all the beautiful chocolate Asian chicks, they are number 58. Vietnam, you know, they don't like nobody, and they still rank number 65. We are past 70 countries, gentlemen. Look at the United States, Lebanon, Uruguay in South America. United States is number 73 for racial equality. It used to be number 65. It's dropped to 73. Colombia, 54. United States is number 73 when it comes to racial equality in the world. And you want to stay in it. Out of 124 countries. You told me that the United States is the greatest in the world. That's what y'all been telling me since I was born. You've been saying that and harping on that since I was a little kid. Since I was a lad. You told me my country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. All of that I believe is true except for the last line. Liberty and justice for all. The for all part, the last two words got me. I don't know about you guys, and I love the United States, but the last two words, for all, aren't, come on, America, for all, be honest, for all. Let me change the music. We're about to get started with the video. Yeah, pledging allegiance. Oh, yeah, tonight's cologne, by the way. I didn't even put on any cologne yet. What are you doing, Andre? Pray tell. Tonight's cologne is, let me pull this up. Make sure you guys can see me well as well. So we can remove the ranking because we don't need that anymore. Tonight's cologne is keeping it simple with the Creed #1 clone, which is Club de Nuit Intense Man. Club de Nuit Intense Man. This is only like 20-25 bucks up to 40 bucks. It is an excellent clone, #1 clone of Aventus. If you do not want to spend $300-400 on Aventus, bruh, you don't need to. And you can smell just as good. And plus, so many people have worn Aventus now, you're at the point where you're like, yeah, okay, enough is enough. So yeah, sometimes I spray the back of my hand because I'm moving my hand around and like that the scent trail that it leaves. They're the same one. Club de Nuit collection is excellent to have. All of theirs. I've got this one. Of course, you guys heard the Baccarat 540 clone, which is my favorite. I like this one better than Baccarat. Untold. The Untold. Because it projects like a beast. Baccarat 540, it's okay as far as projection. I don't really believe that. But when it comes to true projection, that Untold. And if you don't want to spend money on that Creed Sea Smell, which is the Milestone Imperial, you just get Milestone or Milestone. Let me see if I can get that in there. Milestone. There we go. Milestone. And each one of these are like you can get them from 18 bucks to 30 or 40 bucks. Each one of these you can get. And I have the link to clip on them if you want to buy it. They're in the description of this video. So even if you have your video on your phone, all you do is just click the X and you'll see this cologne, each one of these colognes at the bottom for like $29. And I also have other colognes on here for you guys. Oh yeah, I gotta look out for my dudes. We ain't gonna be blowing our money. Why buy $300-400 Creeds, which I did? Don't do it. When you could buy the clones at a fraction of the price. I haven't tried that down in Caring for Men yet. Making coffee. I haven't tried that yet. Yeah, that Untold is, yeah, you're absolutely correct. Dark Hill, that is absolutely correct, Dark. It is too strong for summer heat. I only wear this out, and I'm talking about I spray very little when I use it. Because Cali is a warm weather. Just in case you guys are wondering what Cali weather is like, it's like Central Florida. It's like Orlando weather, Daytona, Tampa. Literally, it's the exact same weather as Tampa. It's not Miami, but then it's not Pensacola, the Panhandle, IT. And shout out to you guys. But to wear this during the day, no. To wear it in the gym, no. It projects too much for heat like that. So like right now, Cali, it cools down at night. This will be good to spray a little bit as I'm out and about, and I might go to a club in Cali. That's what this is for. But during the daytime in Cali, there is no. I be having dudes, man, that be in the gym in Colombia who you could tell they don't know colognes because you could smell that Baccarat from the other side of the room. You're like, dude, you are not supposed to wear something this strong in the gym. Even though it has a great smell, he's absolutely correct. This is not for hot weather. This is for cool nights at most. And then if you're if you're in the States, and this is for wintertime. Excellent wintertime or fall fragrance. Shout out to you guys. Let me change the music and let's get started with the videos. shout out to you guys. And I got some super chat shout outs to give to guys as well. Let me some cash apps shout outs to give to guys as well. Let me change this. Let's go here. I don't even know what this one is, but we'll listen to it tonight. Okay. Oh, we just did this the other day. Okay, cool. All right. So let me see what volume we got. Okay, we're good with the volume. Let's turn that down just one more. Okay, cool. All right, let's get started with the videos tonight. The first portion that we're going to look at the inequality of race in the United States is you guys say 68% of you have decided that you're going to stay in the United States. You're not moving outside your country. It's my country, 'tis of thee. I love the United States. There's no other country like it. Okay, then be ready to deal with some of the things that we're going to expose today, or we're going to discuss, not expose, but discuss today when it comes to racial and economic inequality. Before we get started with the video, there's a book that I purchased this summer. Some of you guys may want to get it. It's by Heather McGee. It's called The Sum of Us. The sum meaning the mathematic term, and the us is for U.S. citizens when it comes to economics. Just the first chapter is amazing. You just learn about how we think as a race. See, there's a lot of books that are out to teach you how to succeed economically or why we fail as individuals economically. This is a book that talks about why, and let's put it like this. There are even other books out there that talks about individual races. If this book tells about Black people and how we can improve on race or why we've been held back, this other book shows that. There are books by individuals, why white people succeed, how Latin people can overcome on individual race. But The Sum of Us, this book literally talks about why we behave the way we do economically around our races. One of the things that she exposes, shout out to Heather, in her book is Blacks have been programmed to think if we could get the playing field equal, we would succeed. I'm going to say this again. That's a farce. Blacks have been programmed in the United States to believe if we could get jobs equal opportunities in school, equal opportunities when it comes to housing and medical, that would make us successful. To a certain extent, yes, but to completely lean on it the way that we have, it has not worked, has it? We got equal rights amended. We've got the right to vote. We've got the right to do a lot of things, but yet why is it that we're behind, even though in many areas the playing field has become a little bit more even? I'll tell you why. One of the things that hurts Blacks the most is not our right to do this or right to do that, but the things that we already freely had the right to do, we've ignored. We as Black people freely have the right to invest. We are the worst when it comes to investing. Stocks, cryptocurrency, real estate, property. We are the worst when it comes to spending our money. Our economic power grows every year. Give me a second, guys. Our economic power continues to grow every single year. But at the same time, we spend it all. It has often been said that for every paycheck that enters into a white community, it takes up to 2 weeks to 2 months, if I'm not mistaken, for that money to leave the white community when they get a paycheck. It takes less than 4 or 5 hours to 2 days for the money to leave the Black community. This is stuff that's absolutely free. We didn't have to sign an equal rights amendment for this. We didn't have to sit back and have picket signs or bullhorns when it came to how we treated our money and how we still treat our monies. So when I sit back and I say that even though according to the book, blacks have been trained to believe that if the playing field was even, then we succeed. In many areas, I agree. But in other areas, I beg to differ. Because there are areas that are absolutely free that we are failing in. There is no right that we had to fight for when it came to marriages, is it? We didn't have to fight for the right to be married. Not recently, but yet, why is it that in the black community, we're the most divorced and got the most baby mamas of all? That's not due to any legislation. Now you can sit back and use the excuse, it was racial programming and they set us up and we're stressed out and we got PTSD from slavery and so forth and so forth. You ain't been no slave. Let's end that right now. We might have some of the traits of what took place, but we ain't shell shocked like our ancestors were, who were in the thick of it. How do you know, Andre? Because economically, we are succeeding way more than our ancestors could have ever imagined and dreamed. Educationally, as well as inventions and creations, we are succeeding more than ever before. Our problem is the stuff that kept us together as a people for free, we take for granted. The stuff that we didn't even have to fight for, we take for granted. Being together as a family unit, being together as a community unit, taking our money and investing it in our own communities. All that was free. We didn't have to fight for the right for any of those things. They could have burned down one Black Wall Street, and in 10 minutes, we could have built up another Black Wall Street. It should have been Black Wall Streets all across the country. They couldn't have been able to burn them all down. We have the money. I didn't say had the money. We have the money. We just don't have the economic or financial education or insight to use our monies wisely at this point in time. And that's why we are not succeeding according to the book of the Sum of Us. When it comes to white people have been trained this way. If the playing field ever became equal, they would lose. In the United States, the fear factor, they trained white people to believe, don't give other races an equal playing field because it'll take from you and you're going to lose out in the long run. So white people have been trained to fear economic and racial equality. Just like the Minister Louis Farrakhan said on Donahue, the fear within many white people is that if blacks ever got equal or even, superseded equality, that we would do to them and pay them back for the sins of their fathers. And black people don't think like that. Black people, according to the book, are only looking for equality, while white people are trained to fear equality. It's an excellent read, guys. Excellent read. So if you guys get a chance to put this in your repertoire, buy this book, Heather McGhee, The Sum of Us. Excellent, excellent, excellent read when it comes to why we do what we do with our monies in the United States based around our racial upbringing. So let's get ready to get started. Let me come back to you guys. Make sure I'm dipping into somebody's conversation. The fear from whites where? The GI Bill and racial redlining. Shout out to my man California All-Stars. Shout out to you being here. He said, yep, I'm having big trouble with spending. Yeah. Yeah. He said, but I'm doing good. Shout out to you, brother. He said, at dinner table, white people discuss money. We talk about who killed Tupac. Can black people now buy insurance policies? Can black people now get paid from their insurance policies? Remember, there was a time period when we bought insurance policies. Then when the person died, they would just refuse to give us the money. Have we now been able to get paid? When was the last time you saw somebody have an insurance policy, they died, and the family wasn't able to get the money? Not that often, do we? When was the last time we weren't able to buy a house? Price may have been overpriced. Might have been overpriced because they saw us coming. But were you given the right to be able to at least buy it? How many of you guys own several pieces of property compared to your parents and grandparents? You see where I'm going with that? You're going to hear the statistics of 2023, 2024 right now when it comes to black spending. This is part of the racial inequality. Let's get started.
The black-white wealth gap takes a comprehensive look at the factors driving the racial wealth gap in the United States. And joining us right now are the co-authors of that book, Ebony Reed and Louise Story. And it's great to see them this morning.
Sure. Well, the typical black family has 15 cents in wealth compared to $1 held in wealth by the typical white family. I'll say that again.
Let me let her say that again.
The typical black family has 15 cents compared to $1 held by a white family. Many people don't know that. And that is true for when you compare averages and medians. So it's not just the billionaires pulling it up. And so we are on a mission to make that a nationally recognized statistic.
Ebony, it seemed like when you look through the book that housing plays such a critical piece of this puzzle. But you found that the lack of participation in the stock market is also a huge component of the problem.
It is. The black-white wealth gap is like a spider web. There are so many factors that contribute to it. So yes, housing is a part of it, but also stock ownership. Inheritance is also a driver of the wealth gap as well.
When you think about it, you also looked at student loan credit expansion. And that obviously, to some degree, and maybe it's counterintuitive, has, in your mind, increased the disparity. Can you both speak to that? Because I think that's an issue that's right on the table right now.
Absolutely. There is a risk that despite the broader access to education, that the way it's been paid for through student loans that have disproportionately harmed the finances of Black and Latino Americans, that's continuing old patterns that have created and continued this black-white wealth gap. We were at 15 cents on the dollar in the 1950s. It's moved around, but we're back at 15 cents on the dollar now.
And I'd like to just add that the Black Americans that carry student loan debt are more likely to delay other wealth building activities, such as home ownership, such as participation in the stock market.
It is time now for our equity.
We're going to stop right there for a second. You heard her correctly. 15 cents on the dollar. The average black person, average everyday, your neighbor, and they said that calculates from the millionaires to your billionaires to the average everyday person that's making minimum wage in all communities. 15 cents on the dollar. Not the money that you make as a black person. Said the wealth that you have as a black person. That means after the white dude's got his paycheck and you get your paycheck, Latin brother, black brother, 15 cents that you put away over time. compared to his dollar that he's put away over time. One of the things that black people don't want to admit, we as people of color don't never want to admit, I never heard this before. We have a problem with not realizing that we're going through FOMO. We have a fear of missing out because we missed out for so many years, so many opportunities. We missed out on purchasing this, purchasing that, eating this, eating that, doing this, doing that. We're gluttonies in a lot of areas. We're very gluttonous. When it comes to alcohol, we're gluttonous. When it comes to clubbing and partying and we ain't got the money for it, we're gluttonous. We'll pay $1,200 to see Beyonce ass. We are gluttonous. We'll buy a Gucci belt, but don't have any Gucci stock. We are gluttonous. Diamond rings, but no money in diamond mines. We are gluttonous. Nobody wants to admit that we're going through FOMO. We're the fat kid that loves cake, but refuse to purchase a bakery. I'll say that again. Black people are the fat kid that loves cake, but refuses to purchase a bakery. That's us. You can't say that about our Latin brothers and sisters. They come over here and they sleep in the same house 5 families deep and build 5 businesses. And at the same time, they're building and being in a Latin family. Bruh, if I haven't learned anything about being in a Latin family, I learned that in the long run, it's going to all pay off. I'm seeing the brokest of the brokest Latin families own a home, own property, owning land. And I'm looking at us as Americans, the average American black person. You don't even own a blade of grass. And the only grass you buying is marijuana. And you wonder why there's a pool of us that have decided to bow out of that we shall overcome movement, the save the community. How do you save something that was never there from in the first place? Most of the houses in the black community were rented and are rented. I'll say that again. How do you save something that's not there when you know that most of the houses in the black community are or were rented? Most of the apartments are and were rented. We don't even own the black community. But you want me to open up businesses in a community that we don't even own. And you want me to stay in a country where you actually believe that as long as the playing field is equal, we've got a chance. Well, in many areas it's not equal, but in many areas it has been. But one thing I can say, we do not spend things on things that the law has been allowing us to do for the longest, and that means investments. So in the United States, so far, when it comes to racial and economic inequality, is unbalanced. Part of because of the system, but we got to admit, we are a huge factor when it comes to us generation after generation being flat broke. Are you not tired, black people, of having to take up a collection for somebody's funeral? Are you not tired? Every time somebody dies in a black family, we get phone calls for fundraisers for so-and-so. So I've got to come up with the money to fly out for the funeral, and I'm paying for the funeral like it's a cabaret. Because we refuse to purchase life insurance. I don't get it. Let's continue on. This right here is talking about us as far as our buying power.
Opportunity Series. And Frank Holland joins us this morning with a closer look at the growth in black spending power. Frank.
Hey, good morning to you, Andrew. Black spending power reached a record $1.6 trillion in 2021. The ability to buy, save, and invest more than doubling since 2000. That growth exceeding the full U.S. economy, but actually lagging other ethnic groups. Latinos with a 288% increase, Asians with a 388% increase in spending power. However, other groups, they've also seen an increase in their net worth. Black Americans instead have seen their wealth actually fall by 14%. And with the
So let's take a look. Don't look away. Look right here. Don't go to another channel. You at the right place. When it comes to net worth, since 2021, the average black person had at least $28,000. The average Latin was $17,000. Average white person, $178 in 2021. At least in savings, at least in investments. The U.S. overall, the average person had $125,000 in investments and saving and net worth in 2021. For all you boss ladies, I'm the boss queen, all you sisters that got all these degrees now, 2021, you sisters wasn't hollering about all these degrees. Now y'all got all the degrees. In 2021, you sisters and brothers wasn't hollering about all these businesses y'all starting and online opportunities. Now you got all the online opportunities, brothers and sisters, and businesses. And yet, you can buy Gucci belts, but you can't buy Gucci stock or whatever country or whatever company owns the Gucci brand. And because of that, our Latin brothers and sisters who we laugh at for selling oranges on the freeway, and our Latin brothers and sisters who we laughed at because they got 10, 12 people living in the house, their net worth right now is up 111%. White people steady at 6%. The U.S. now, when it comes to savings, is down. But nobody has been kicked in the tail when it comes to investments for the future and for future generations as much as you Negroes. Nobody. Not the Armenians, not the Jews, not the Asians. Nobody has plummeted 14%. Okay, if you had a stock that plummeted 14%, would you keep that stock? What about a car? If it broke down 14% of the time, would you keep that car? What about a school? If you went to a school and you was guaranteed to lose or get an F on a grade 14% of the time, would you keep going to that school? So, in other words, our income, as far as we're worth, our worth together, the money in our pocket over a year is $1.6 trillion. But the money of that $1.6 trillion that we get every year as people of color, it don't even go into investments. It don't even go into investments. This has nothing to do with racial equality. Investing has nothing to do with the white man. Stock market don't know what color you are when you invest. Cryptocurrency does not know what color you are when you invest. The property, the land that you purchased, don't know the person who you purchased it from, but that land does not know your color. We will have the nicest cars, but can't nobody dress like black people. Nobody can do music like us. Nobody can party like us. And ain't nobody broke like us. Because they realize they ain't got to party like us. You sit back, you see Latin people in all these other countries. What do they get? They get them some rum or a bottle of whiskey, and they can party all night long, better than any nightclub that you ever been to. Not black people. We got to go VIP it. And most of the people that's in that club looking so good, broke than a mother. This is a shame. I told y'all I was coming with it tonight. Some of y'all gonna be ultra sensitive, but we're talking about racial inequality. Cities like Bmore, Philadelphia, Detroit is gold mine for real estate investing. You know why? Because everybody else coming to our cities but us to buy that property. The people in Detroit ain't even buying the property that's in Detroit anymore. The people in Bmore are not even buying the property that's in Bmore. That's where the gentrification comes in, because we'll sit back and we're like, man, I ain't buying that. I'm moving to the suburbs. And white people are coming in and scooping it up because they know that they no longer have to drive from the suburbs to get to work in the cities. Now it's our dumbasses that's still stuck in traffic, driving from the suburbs to get to the city. The biggest setup over the last 50 years is convincing black people to move to the suburbs. That's one of the biggest setups I've ever seen. Absolutely big pick, lack of knowledge. Biggest setups. If you ever want to feel like you a laughing stock, take it from me, and I own houses in the suburbs. When you saw white people not leaving because of racism anymore, it wasn't like, oh my God, all these black people and Asian people and Latin people are moving to the suburbs. No, white people did not do that. They said, these dummies are leaving the best parts of the city. They're moving out here with us to the suburbs. We can't stand it out here in the suburbs. You know how hard it is to get to work or get to a grocery store out here in the suburbs? And white people have been moving back into the inner city and leaving the suburbs to you Negroes and laughing their asses off. Laughing they will take that suburb money and buy 2, 3, 4 pieces of property in the inner city compared to that piece of property that they own in the suburbs. Shout out to my man Dave. Dave says this. He said, Andre Dior paid $57 to make their products and charges $2,000 plus to customers, guests who want the customers, but $2,000 plus to customers. Guess who the customers are? The Cushites, the descendants of Cush, the ninjas, You guys see me buy colognes, but I tell you guys this all the time. For every bottle of cologne that I purchase, whatever that cologne amount is, it has to go into the market. So this is $30. This one is $40. This one is $30. That's $100. That means $100 has to go into my Vanguard account before I can purchase these. If I don't have $200, then I'm not purchasing these. This is $100, and the other $100 is going to my Vanguard account. So all these couple thousand, like $3,000, $4,000 worth of colognes, y'all see, you better believe that amount is in the Vanguard account. I'm not going for that trickery anymore that the U.S. system has set us up to believe in, keeping up with the Joneses. FOMO, fear of missing out. I don't care how much a sister in the States will laugh at me, because I'm a believer in the last laugh. And I wasn't like that always. I didn't believe in the last laugh. I was just like every other brother and sister. I believe in look at me now, look at me clean today. Tomorrow is not promised. I'm gonna be fly today. No. I'm a believer in the last laugh. He who laughs last. That's what I believe in. And I'm gonna be just like them white boys, laughing last. And y'all can, at that time period, whenever you're a last laugher, black people gonna talk about you. Oh, you must think you white because I invested my money. You must think you white because I was wise enough to establish a relationship with a woman instead of just running all over the world looking to just party until I'm 70 years old. I'm a black man. I could have easily did what a lot of dudes are doing. Go to other countries where black men are rare and just smash chicks until I'm 63, 64 years old. I could have easily did that. And I'm not saying everybody needs to get married. What I'm saying is there's a time in every man's life that we need to take our time to sit down and use some of that money that we travel with also to invest. Over the next few years, Andrea and I have been discussing over the last few years about buying some sugarcane land and some other land and some property and condos and things like that. We got plans coming down the turnpike to make major purchases. One of the things that I've decided I really never wanted to go through is somebody else having to pay for my funeral. Somebody else to have a fundraiser for my funeral. When you know black people got the money. I'm going to go back and play this section again for us. Shout out to you, Dave, and Father of Many Nations once again. He said, blessings, family. Listen while, he said, listen while he's driving. I already saw that part. Let's go back to the video and I'm gonna bring it back to where we were.
And to you, Andrew, black spending power reached a record $1.6 trillion in 2021.
$1.6 trillion in our pockets, in our bank accounts, direct deposit in one freaking year. Black spending power. We could have spent that money on anything. It had nothing to do with the judge. The judge was unfair. He put my cousin in jail. That spending power ain't had nothing to do with that. He cheated on me. That's why I left him. That spending power had nothing to do with you divorcing your man and because he was cheating. Well, you know what? I just graduated from college. That spending power had nothing to do whether you started college or finished college. That spending power came because we worked hard. We did what we need to do. And at the end of the year, we had the buying power of $1.6 trillion. And we effed it all up.
The ability to buy, save, and invest more than doubling since 2000. That growth exceeding the full U.S.
The ability to buy and to invest doubled more than since 2000 for black people. The ability to buy and invest doubled since 2020. And we didn't take advantage of it.
Economy, but actually lagging other ethnic groups, Latinos with a 288% increase, Asians with a 388% increase in spending power. However, other groups, they've also seen an increase in their net worth. Black Americans instead have seen their wealth actually fall by 14%. And with the S&P gaining 27% last year, the value of U.S. homes increasing by 31% last year. Many black leaders are asking the black community to really rethink how it spends.
Save money to purchase the most important asset you'll probably ever own, and that's your home. And that to me is equally important. As I said, I put it right up there with arguing or campaigning for or supporting voting rights.
I would love to see us spend more money in the stock market. Instead of buying the hottest new thing, buy the stock of the hottest new thing. And that's something that you can also pass down generation to generation.
Let's go back for a second. Let's look at Angela Yee's situation. If you look in the background in Angela Yee's home, you see, what do you see? You see her favorite spirits, see her some of her favorite drinks. There's nothing wrong with that, Angela. But what else do you see that Angela has done to put herself in a position to be stable and to be able to talk about, I wish I could see more of our people invested in stock? Bingo, the books. A true leader is a true reader. It's not a coincidence. A true leader is a true reader. It is not a coincidence. You cannot name one. Do not get fooled into thinking that Jay-Z doesn't read. Do not get fooled into thinking that Snoop Dogg just sits around all day smoking weed and he don't read nothing. Do not get fooled into thinking some of the most famous business moguls that we've had are not readers. Another thing that has been taken away from us that had nothing to do with Congress, had nothing to do with picketing and bullhorns and fighting for the rights, our ability to read and to get knowledge. We could not blame that on the white man. Anybody in this world today can go to any bookstore and buy the exact same books that Angela has in her repertoire. Shout out to Angela. Shout out to Angela. Yep. Procter & Gamble is called the forever stock. Absolutely correct. Toilet paper, dish soap. Yep. Absolutely correct. People buy them every day at your local, and people will buy these products and not buy the stock. And I don't get it. Oh yeah, that NVDA, that's a must-have. Absolutely correct. Bob Johnson, BET former president, he said this before Angela came on. He said one of the best ways for blacks to build net worth is buying property. Can the average black family buy a piece of property? I'll say this again. Can the average black family at least buy a piece of property? When it comes to buying a piece of property, we have a bad habit of thinking we need to buy the property that we want to live in and not thinking about the piece of property that we could just simply invest in. That's why you got whites coming to Detroit, Baltimore, Philadelphia, parts of DC, and other parts of the world, parts of the United States, and buying up those areas and those neighborhoods that you think, ain't no way in hell I'm gonna buy a house there. I wouldn't buy that land. Who's gonna buy that lot? That's a vacant lot. My kids used to play football in that vacant lot. Ain't nothing over there. That's nothing but grass and dirt, girl. Again, I say, walking through the streets of Detroit, Baltimore, some areas of Tampa, Orlando, parts of Texas, in Houston or Dallas, Galveston, parts of California. Can the average black family put their hands on something? We always want to say, well, it's not the piece of property that I would want to live in. I didn't say that. I said, can you buy a piece of property? I didn't say the one that you were going to live in. We think everybody else knows to invest in that, build it up, and then sell it, and then do what you need to do to invest that money in other ways. We're the only ones that think about that if we buy something, it has to be for personal use only. I'm buying a house for personal use. I'm sitting up here watching, dude, I'm sitting up here literally watching Colombians living with their mothers at 38 years old, grown ass men that own 3, 4, 5 Airbnbs throughout Cali, Colombia. And they're only going to move out of their mother's houses when they decide to get married. But when they decide to get married, once again, they own 3, 4, 5 Airbnbs that you guys are renting. Some of you guys got Airbnb hosts in Colombia that are younger than you are. And it's not their only pieces of property. So when I sit back and I say, America, you're ranked number 73, number 74 in the list of racial equality. But I am not going to blame everything on America because a lot of it is our own irresponsibility. Let's continue on. Thanks, Dave. Yes, we can. And I like what Dave put up here earlier. The old saying, he said, what's the easiest way to hide something from black people? Answer, put it in a book. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. If you want to hide any form of knowledge from black people, you do not have to lie. White people don't ever have to lie in life. They just got to put it in the book. Because black people won't do something that's absolutely free. Read. Oh, there's a pool of us that read. But they want to call us nerds. They want to call us stuck up, you bougie. But when it comes to having insight and having longevity of life, those of us that read always succeed. I'll say this again. Those that read usually succeed. A true reader is a true leader. If you're a leader of your family, you're talking about I'm the leader of the house, I'm a high value man, you better believe most high value men got some type of books or knowledge or magazines that are of economic interest, or they have ebooks. You know how many ebooks I have in this phone? You know how many ebooks that you can just listen to for free on YouTube? Most of the books that you see in libraries today are already on an audio version on YouTube for free. Just had it from black people. Black people can go to YouTube to pop some damn balloons, but they will not go to YouTube to listen to an audio book while you're riding to work. Yeah, let that sink in. You'll pop a dang balloon, not realizing that at the end of the day, when the cameras go off, the only balloon that's being popped is the one that's for the black community. Boop. You got $1.6 trillion balloon. Boop. Yeah. He said, shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson. He said, I have all Dr. Claude Anderson books and I use them for my personal advancement. Absolutely correct. And Dr. Claude Anderson has been talking about this forever when it comes to the black community. He's been warning us forever. Whatever you see in the black community in the United States right now, that's taking place on a regular basis right now, Dr. Claude Anderson predicted this stuff years ago. How to get out of it or how to avoid it. Years ago, he saw this coming. Uriah said, I listen while I'm driving. So do I. He said, buy these books, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, Common Sense Mutual Funds by, let me write those down. Let me write those down. There we go. Let me write those down. And like I just mentioned, some of you guys might see the cliff notes of this book on YouTube for free, or you'll find a full version of a particular book on YouTube for free. The Intelligent Investor. Watch this. Give me a split second, gentlemen. The Intelligent Investor full book. The Intelligent Investor full book. All right. When it comes to audiobooks, like I mentioned before, screen share. How many seconds did it take me to find that book? Couldn't have been 30 seconds. Couldn't have been 30 seconds for me to find the audio version of that book on YouTube for free that you guys can listen to. So when I sit back and I hear black people crying and whining about economic inequality, I don't give a dang about what you're talking about. There is no way. Think and Grow Rich. That's been on YouTube for free forever. Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, one of the greatest books of all time. That's been on there. Plato's Republic. That's on there for free. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's on YouTube for free. Let's see this. How long did it take me to find that? Didn't take me 10 seconds to find the whole audiobook that our brother recommended. So you don't even have to have the library. You can actually just put it in your repertoire as far as a book that you're going to be listening to for the next week on YouTube. I didn't spend $1. It only took me less than 45 seconds to find 2 books that you guys recommended. So when I hear black people bitch about the economy and it's not fair and white people are this and white people that, and there's so much out there for us to be able to spend $1.6 trillion on, I don't care what you got to say. There is nothing you can tell me. You got $1.6 trillion credit card. And when the year ends, you're 14% in debt. How the hell does that happen? You got $1.6 trillion to spend at the beginning of the year. And by the time the year ends, everybody else has taken it and flipped it a little bit. Only black people are down 14%. And you want me to stay in the country with that. Because of my heritage, because I got the same black skin. Nah, them days are done, bruh. I gave y'all 50 years to get it right. Y'all couldn't get it right in 50 years. I'm gonna ride solo, black folk. I love my black people around the world, not just the United States, around the world, the whole diaspora. I love black people. I ain't gonna even sit up here and waste my time trying to impress, improve, waste my energy on black people that want to take $1.6 trillion and just throw it away. And you watching my Latin brothers and sisters, they do what they do with their money. White people at least keeping it stable. And black people 14% in the negative. You got $1.6 trillion in your pocket at the beginning of the year. Get the and y'all can come up with all type of political excuses y'all want to, but there is no excuse for literally spending $1.6 trillion in a year. There is no excuse. Let's go back to the video.
Buying the hottest new thing, buy the stock of the hottest new thing. And that's something that you can also pass down generation to generation.
Home ownership is typically the biggest wealth builder in the Black community. That's actually fallen more than 3% since 2000. And annually, Black families accumulate $300 billion less in wealth than white families, and they save $75 billion less. The racial wealth gap now at more than $11 trillion.
We'll stop right there for a second and hear what DJ has to say. DJ says this. He said, thinking about those days, we had bow ties and knowledge, correct? He said, I trade all that BS. He said, learn scientific acoustics to be able to build cathedrals and other audio venues. You're absolutely correct. That's a good point. Send me a book on how to stop being a stupid consumer. That's easy. Like I said, you don't need a book for that. If you don't have the money to put it in the market, you don't have the money to put it in your home. I'll say this again. If you don't have the money to put that particular cologne and buy that stock, that $40 to put it in the market, then this cologne should not be in your home. That's going to curb your appetite to keep on spending. Because you're going to realize this cologne is not $40 anymore. It's $80. This cologne is no longer $50. It's $100. When you realize that you get in the habit that every time you buy a pair of them expensive ass raggedy $12 Jordans that you spend $150 on, and you got to spend $300 to get that one pair of Jordans. In other words, you got to put $150 in the market, and then you can go ahead and spend $150 on those shoes. I bet you that spending appetite curved real quick. You start to realize, half of this stuff I got in here. Okay, let's be real. We got grown men in here. Half the stuff that we spend our money on is to impress the ladies anyway. You got that car because you liked it and you knew that the ladies was gonna like it. You decked your apartment out the way that you did because you know you like it like that. Yes, true. But you knew that the ladies was gonna like it like that. You bought that cologne because you knew you was gonna like it. But you knew when you got to work the next day, the ladies was gonna love it. What if you just did something that you were gonna like and F what the ladies were gonna say? And you invested. Just for 1 year, you lived the Fred Sanford life in the sense of you not trying to impress nobody. You just investing money. And I'm not saying live like Fred, but what I'm saying is just you ain't trying to impress nobody. You just investing. You know how much money men would save, just men of all color would save if we wasn't blowing money trying to impress women. Them damn spinner rims was not trying to show off to another man. I'm gonna say this again. We did not create spinning rims to impress another man. We created those spinning rims in the 80s and 90s and 2000s because we was trying to impress chicks. Now who running around with the spinning rims? No dang body. All that money was invested to impress some chicks. Sound systems. Yeah, you was playing your favorite songs, but you love when the ladies turn their head and look at your car with your booming box. We like the cars that go boom. If you just stop trying to impress women, you too damn old for that. The money that y'all spend on dates. We already looked at that the other day, how much it costs per date in the States. And the average man goes on 20 to 40 dates a year. The average man goes on 20 to 40 dates a year. And in the state of New York, it's up to $300 a date. In the state of Florida, it's a little over $200. State of California, it's almost $300 per date. And the average person, before you really get to know a woman, you're going to take her on at least 3 to 5 dates. That's $1,500 New York in California. Just on 3 to 4 days. We're already looking at the stats. The stats are saying what they're saying right here on this news headline we just watched. Black people, you are not broke, but you are broken. Oh, yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. Shout out to my man Lawrence this morning. Send me a $10 super chat. Shout out to that brother. Send me a $10 super chat. And shout out to my man James last night. Send me a $10. Shout out to you, brother. Supporting that channel. James B. I don't know what it is, but we got to get it together, fellas. We got to get it together. Let's go back. And so I showed you that you can pull up many books that the brothers are suggesting. Pilgrim's Progress is a great quick read too. You got to read Pilgrim's Progress. It's about the journey of life that most men go through. It's a story, but it's the story of a journey. The Hero with 1,000 Faces. You got to read The Hero with 1,000 Faces. Every hero movie from every Marvel comic book, every Marvel movie, every movie where somebody rescues somebody was based off of the book of a hero. Star Wars was based off of that. Many of the Star Trek movies and television shows were based off of the book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. Gotta get your reading up, fellas. Yeah, I wonder why your boy's so bougie. Because I read books. The books don't make you bougie. The fact that you are disciplined enough to do them makes you feel like you're better than the average mere mortal. Yes, you do. Books do make you feel like when you're reading and you're listening to audio books, you listen to your motivational speakers and you having your time of meditation. Yes, you do feel better than the average person because the average person is not even doing half of what you do with 24 hours. So bougie today is not the fact that you got all the money, but it's those of us that are bougie because we're doing a little bit better when it comes to not sitting around waiting for the white man to save us. Mr. Gilmore. Shout out to my man Blizzard Broad. And he says, appreciate what you do, brother. Appreciate you too, brother. Shout out to Eric Bale in the building as well. He says, Colombia, a nation with a certain future. Is it easy for anyone to immigrate there? Just a question, my brother. Yeah, it is. It's really not difficult. I'm going to answer in two parts. I'll answer the second part first. It is not difficult to immigrate here if you can prove with a pension. We're going to go through some of the visas. If you can prove with a pension that you make $1,000, $800 to $1,000 a month in your military pension, your Social Security, or your pension from your job, it's easy to get a visa in Colombia. You got to really have done something to where you can't get a visa in Colombia. Numero dos, your first part of your question, you said, is Colombia a nation with a certain future? Yes, it is. Colombia is growing. It is expanding. There is construction going on everywhere. There are major companies that are coming this way. It is a self-sufficient country. That means that if everything F up in the world just shut down, Colombia and Venezuela sits on the world's largest oil reserve. So the last thing they worried about is oil or gas. Colombia sits right on the cusp of the Amazon jungle, as well as right off the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. So we get fresh air, oxygen, more than anybody. We gonna have fresh water more than anybody. As far as business development, that's why they don't call these countries third world countries. Colombia is a developing country. If you go back and look at Colombia just 20 years ago, compared to the Colombia that we all have been seeing over the last 15 years, it will amaze you the transformation this country has gone through. And if you want to see the future of Colombia, go to Bogota. Go to Bogota. If you want to see how modern a city can be and still be traditional, go to Bogota. It is very futuristic. And Medellin is on its way to be there. Medellin is on its way to be one of the first cities in the world with a highway specifically dedicated to drones. I'm going to say this again. Medellin is one of the few cities in the world that's already dedicating itself to creating a highway for drones. So if you got a package that need to be delivered, it can be delivered through drones through the highway. Medication can be delivered immediately to hospitals through drones. Medellin is already setting that up to where you just see drones. Drones. Y'all keep on hoping that America's going to see. You know what the biggest problem I see about Americans that I personally think that's sad about us? We think that America is going to go back to being what it used to be once upon a time. What is Trump's slogan? Make America great again. What was Ronald Reagan's slogan in 1983? Y'all ready? You ready? Make America great again. When after COVID ended, you know what the number one thing that Americans have complained about? The fact that everything didn't go back to where it was in 2019 before you lost your job. You literally thought that America was supposed to go back to the way that it was. The few of you had a few dollars, you thought you were supposed to have those few dollars again. The few of you that had a decent job, you thought you were supposed to have that decent job again. You have been pissed off at Joe Biden and his administration because things didn't go back to the America that you knew. Just like whites wish America, not all whites, but many whites wish America was the way that it was, like for them again. That's why Reagan won, because make America white again. And it's not going back. While America is looking in the rearview mirror, all these other small developing countries are moving forward. So to answer your question, brother, yes, Colombia is an extremely developing country, while America is steady looking in the rearview mirror and is about to crash into a dang economic wall. Because it keeps on wishing it was what it used to be. And guess who else does that? UK. UK misses the time period when it was the British Empire and it ruled the land, and the UK pound was the #1 that was used in the world. And UK has spent so much time looking over its shoulder. It has not been trying, like looking in the rearview mirror. It has not been looking forward, and it's crashing into an economic wall. Same thing like United States. UK is going through the same political uprising with these politicians that United States is going through. Instability, economic, people don't know if they're going to have a job tomorrow in UK, just like they don't know if they're going to have a job tomorrow in the United States. Because all of you are looking in the rearview mirror, waiting for 2019 to at least come back, at least that year, at least that era, 2018, 2019. Yeah, at least hope that come back. While every other country, these small countries are developing behind your back, like Guyana. Let's continue on with the video. So we looked at economic inequality. So let's see if there's racial equality in the United States when it comes to politics.
Long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see
Take a look at my record, man. I extended the voting rights 25 years. I have a record that is second to none. The NAACP has endorsed me every time I've run. Come on. Take a look at the record.
I want to quickly give you the opportunity to respond to something that Donald Trump said on the debate stage about undocumented immigrants, rather.
They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs.
What's your reaction to that?
As Joe Biden has been talking about this, he mentioned it the other night. Donald Trump is being Donald Trump. He has a very, very, very low opinion of people of color. Black, brown, whatever color. He has a low opinion of black people. He's demonstrated that all of his life. And I would like to hear from some of his black supporters why they will not have these discussions about what this man has done to black women, what this man has done to young black youth, and what he has done to his own businesses when it comes to black people. I've talked to Reverend Sharp, and he told me he's been in and out of his businesses and never has seen a black person in any of them. How do you just give this man a pass on all of that? Compare his hiring records to Joe Biden's hiring records, and then that ought to give you some indication of what it would be going forward. So what he said the other night about black jobs meant to me that there are certain jobs for black people and there are certain jobs for white people. There are certain jobs for white people and there are certain jobs for non-white people. And these people coming in will be taking those jobs that are for non-white people, never mind them being a threat to those jobs for the rest of us.
Tonight, Nikki Haley doubling down on this controversial remark about the history of race in America.
We're not a racist country, Brian. We've never been a racist country.
On the campaign trail today, Haley addressing the criticism head on, turning to a regular part of her stump speech for cover.
You said the other day that we have never been a racist country. Was that a slip of the tongue?
No. Listen, I was born a brown girl in a small rural town in South Carolina. If my parents never wanted us to think we lived in a racist country, did we face racism? Yes.
It's the latest in a series of campaign stumbles on race from Haley as she rises in the polls.
Reparations from slavery and black victimization is about to be shoved down our throats for the most wretched holiday in America. BLM raised millions, but what did they do for black lives? It is outrageous to see people asking for reparations, even though they never went through slavery. These ungrateful people should be celebrated because they were born in the greatest nation to ever exist. Here's a tip. If you don't like America, kindly get the fuck out.
Valentina Gomez is her name. So look at how the politicians talk about you and your racial equality. I want to vote for Trump. I want to vote for Biden. Country. The only reason people voted for Biden because they didn't like Trump. And now the only reason you're voting for Trump because you don't like Biden. Trump is just as bad as Biden. Biden is just as bad as Trump. Your economy is not going to get any better. When you, after the election, okay, I want y'all to tell me how y'all lives improved November 3rd after the election. I'll give you all the way to November 5th. I'll give you to January 7th after he's sworn back in as President Trump. Because y'all know y'all ain't voting for Biden. I already got that. Let that man go ahead and sit down somewhere. See how your life gonna get better. Since you want to stay there, you call us who are expats crazy. Those of us who have left, y'all don't think that we're Americans anymore, even though we are, all 9 million of us. Let me see how your life get better by staying there. You said that our life won't get better for leaving. Show me on January 7th, after Trump is president, how it's get better. Because they already got plans for you You need to be looking up Project 2025. Why you so busy looking up balloons getting popped, black people? You need to be looking up Project 2025. Because the Republican administration, they got plans to break y'all in two. And they've been setting these plans in order for the last few years. Project 2025 has been around a long time. But y'all like to watch balloons getting popped. My man DJ Davis in the building. Shout out to you, Mr. Davis. He said the West is a woman crashing into the wall. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Don't realize that she crashed into a wall. Her days are over. Professor said felons can migrate anywhere they want. Behold the felon. Shout out to Professor. Absolutely correct, kind sir. Absolutely correct. I'm about to schedule an interview with you also real soon, Professor. A lot of guys have never seen you and never heard your story. I've seen you on a couple of channels telling your story. So what were black people going through in the 50s? I know, right? But hey, it's black people that's walking around with the mega hats on too. Make America great again. Okay, black people, when was it ever great for you? Slavery? Post-slavery, the Reformation age? Sharecropping? The Renaissance age? Civil rights era? The equal rights era? Inequality of the last 50 years? Economic inequality? All you walking around talking about Trump, all you Trumpeteers that's running around with the mega hats on, when the hell was America ever great for any of y'all? At least I'm not, even if I were to vote for Trump, because I'm going to vote. I vote every election. If I were to vote for Trump, I'm not stupid enough to believe that he's going to try to make the country great again for me. Why? Because it was never great for me. So I'm not going to be sitting around waiting for Trump to chump to change my life. It is my job to use my portion of the $1.6 trillion of buying power that black people have to make my life better. That's my responsibility. It's not the white dude responsibility. It's not the Asian dude. It's not the Middle Eastern dude. It is Andre Spence's responsibility to take care of his household and be a shining light to any other community. Why did I say it like that? I'm done with trying to be a shining light only for the black community. So if a white kid say, hey, Dre, I want to be like you. Come on, white boy. If a Latin kid say, hey, Andre, can you teach me this? Come on, Latin kid. I'm done with trying to only teach black people. I did that for 50 years. That shit did not work at all. All I got was frustration. And a lot of civil rights leaders, okay, there's never been a retirement party for civil rights leaders, but you notice all their asses have disappeared, don't you? Not everybody got assassinated, did they? What happened to all the ones that didn't get assassinated and didn't go into politics? Pardon my language, but they said, forget this. They got to a certain stage in a certain age of life, and you don't see Angela Davis is still alive, guys. Stokely Carmichael lived a long, happy life in the Caribbean. You know Stokely Carmichael, Ungawa Black Power, the one that created the Power Fist, and the one that created the term Black Power. What about all those brothers and sisters that were doing the freedom rides on the Greyhound buses? What happened to all of them except for John Lewis? All of them said, I'm done. What happened to all them civil rights leaders for the Montgomery bus boycott? They got beat up on that bridge. Oh, they gone? They gone. They retired a long time ago. They said, man, these black people are not trying to do better. They making $1.6 trillion. They didn't need me to get these ass whoopings to be able to learn how to spend $1.6 trillion. They needed to just get a book and get a course and get a teacher and get instruction on how to have fiscal responsibility, first of all, but fiscal intelligence. Man, please. I already did my part. And anybody that want to sit back and call me a sellout and all that, I give less than a damn. You would never see me do an interview talking about, what you mean you would help any culture? I would help anybody in this world that want help to improve their lives. Any person that says, Andre, I'm down and out, I need help. I have no problem with helping people. Fuck just waiting around for black people to ask me. I'm done with that one. That is over. I gave you 50 years to use the knowledge, and man, I'm done. Let me stop rambling. Let me go back to the video. But politicians, Joe Biden already told you, if you ain't black, if you don't vote for me, he don't care nothing about y'all. They could just spew anything out of their mouths as Democrats. Trump says, representing the Republicans, they coming over here to take your black jobs. You mammies. All you maids, you black maids, they coming to get your jobs. All you black sharecroppers, they coming to get your jobs. All you poor black janitors, they coming to get your jobs. They're coming to get the black jobs, meaning that there's a difference between black jobs and white jobs. And y'all gonna run to the polls and y'all gonna vote because y'all tired of Paw Biden. You are not voting because you 100% Trumpeteers. You voting because you like, man, I don't want to vote for the old dude because that's elder abuse. But if I vote for the crazy old man and Trump, he don't like us either. Well, I got news for you. Neither one of them liked you. Nikki Haley already said, there's no racism in the United States has never been racist because I spoke like a woman, because women love talking in anecdotal. They love talking about themselves or their friends or somebody they heard about, because I, as a brown woman passing for a white woman, y'all caught that? Me, Nikki Haley, pretending to be white has never had a problem. Now, when they found out I was not white, I had racial issues, but long as I pretend that I'm white, I don't have any issues. America has never been racist. I know what the books and history says, and I know what black people say, but as far as my experience, growing up in the rural area of the Carolinas with all the other Tar Heels, as long as I pretended like I was white, there's no racism in America. And y'all would have elected that crazy white woman as that Karen. And y'all expect me and other brothers to stay in that country like that, where you don't have any true political positioning, where you could look at a politician and say, this is what this politician stands for the people. And you can look at another politician and say, this is what he stands for the people. We are sitting back and going to be voting on personalities. We got Paw Biden and we got crazy old man Trump. And y'all want me to stay there in that country. Get the out of here. I will be down there with Professor in Mexico before I be living back in the States. You better believe that. I'll be in Mexico with a sombrero before I have my ass full time back in the States. Y'all crazy as hell. And then we got the Colombian chick. First generation Colombian. Valentina Gomez, that told you guys that Juneteenth is the most ratchet holiday. And you don't deserve reparations because you were not slaves. That's what she said. She said, because you were not slaves directly, you don't deserve reparations at all as being the descendants of slaves. And if you don't, and she said this, if your blacks don't like No. You can leave. A first generation in the United States, 25-year-old Colombian had the balls to not even fear black men and black women in your community to tell you about your holiday. And she's running for the State Department to be the Secretary of State in her state. She's running to be the Secretary of State in her state. In the state of, if I'm not mistaken, let's see what this is. I think that's Missouri. She running to be the Secretary of State. And she got photos all in her Twitter account with you Negroes. Come on, I'm gonna let you hear it again. For those of you that didn't hear the first time, I'll let y'all hear it again. On Juneteenth, she put this out.
Campaign stumbles on race from Haley as she rises in the polls.
Reparations from slavery and black victimization is about to be shoved down our throats for the most ratchet holiday in America. BLM raised millions. But what did they do for black lives? It is outrageous to see people asking for reparations, even though they never went through slavery. These ungrateful people should be celebrated because they were born in the greatest nation to ever exist. Here's a tip. If you don't like America, kindly get the fuck out.
She didn't put the BBL Drizzy on there on y'all. She put the BBL Drizzy out there on y'all. My man Fearless Podcast in the building. My dude, make sure you guys subscribe to Fearless Podcast. Make sure you drop your link, Fearless, so we can subscribe to your channel. We got 71 people in the building. Click that like button. I like you. Make sure you like us too. He says, a bee does not spend its time trying to convince a fly that a flower is better than shit. Let's let that sink in. A bee does not waste its time trying to convince a flower. Try to convince a fly that a flower is better than shit. Stop me when he's lying. Big Dave said, I can't vote for a crazy old man or a senile old man. First generation Colombia told y'all she wasn't even scared. She had a gun up there. She be walking around. If you go to her account, her Twitter account, she got so many guns, and she's trying to show that I'm all American. She said America's the greatest. Hell, for you was born in Colombia. All she has, America is the greatest country of all time. 25 years old. Those politicians in the States give less than an F about y'all. Give less than an F, man. I'm serious. Let's continue on. So we already saw economically, it's not fair. We already saw when it comes to politicians, why United States, when it comes to racial equality, is number 74. We see why. Yeah, Dave, she wants that show that she is on the team. That's what she wants to show. Yep. She's trying too hard. That's the problem. So let's go to the next one, where it talks about, we're going to look at when it comes to our community and the police. Some of you guys complain about police in other countries. Is it as bad as it is in the United States? Let's take a look. Oh, there we go. This is 2024 ranking. Remember, we're looking at 2023. The 2024 ranking for the United States. The United States ranked out of 124 countries. Somebody called it 118th. One of you guys called it earlier. 118th in the world for 2024. Yeah.
Just punched this black woman in the face. What's worse is that this is a pattern for her, and she's well known to use excessive force on people of color. Up to this point, she and her department have gone unpunished. But there are countless cases of racist officers who forget they're being recorded, like when a cop repeatedly shouts slurs at an innocent black man.
For being
But first, let's look at a cop who did something so racist, it got him fined $100,000 and fired from the police force entirely.
Hey, I'm black out here. That's what the issue is.
Yeah.
The incident happened in San Diego when he approached Amari Johnson for smoking in a non-smoking area. Right. The only problem, Johnson didn't have a lighter, cigarette, or vape on him. Even if he was smoking, do you think that warranted this treatment?
Me, bro. What you grabbing me for, bro? I already told you just come here straight. You look goofy as hell, bro. Stop touching me, bro. Obviously, nobody's going nowhere. Hey, what'd I tell you? I told you I was waiting for somebody to come here. They right here, bro.
Sit down.
Oh my God, you're tough as up. Hey, you tough as up.
Stop.
Hey,
Stop.
Bro, you goofy as hell. Bro. Hey, Mr. Dadges, you making a big ass deal out of nothing, Brody.
You're the one that
you making a big ass deal out of nothing, Brody.
Sit down.
You real big though, huh?
Dude,
hey, you real big.
You're the one that just
hey, you real big.
Sit down.
Hey, you real tough.
Okay.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I have no reason to be detained by you, bro.
Sit down.
Bro, stop. Bro,
Stay seated.
Get on the ground. What am I doing? Y'all are funny as hell, bro. This is funny as hell, bro. Hey. Hey, let's start it.
That's fine, dude.
You've
already put your hands on me.
Bro, I didn't put nothing on you, bro. It's on camera, so you can check me. Bro, y'all hella goofy, bro.
I'm talking to you, and you smacked me.
Bro, nobody smacked you, bro. Where I smacked you?
You did it?
Where I smacked you?
Dages claims that this treatment was because Johnson slapped his hand away, a moment not clearly caught on his body cam.
What the bro? Do y'all know what's going on?
I just got here, man.
This fool is in the wrong. He tried to come up on him like he's not doing shit. He's waiting for me to get back from the store, right? When I come back, instead of him just apologizing and being like, oh, you're right, I get it, he tries to grab him and choke him and put him on the thing. Obviously, my friend is gonna put his hands back. This fool's in the wrong and he could just say that and let it go. And instead, he's trying to I don't know what he's trying to do.
Just trying to figure out what's going on, man.
Bro, he's being a whole ass bro. Oh, God, and you know you're wrong, bro.
This guy would be an awful lot more helpful if he wasn't so aggressive, but he's exactly right. Johnson was simply waiting for him to arrive in this spot when he was approached by Dages and was exhibiting no suspicious behavior whatsoever. But in the conversation that followed, he accidentally reveals the true reason for this stop.
He looked at my name like 30 minutes ago, bro. Why am I still here? I don't got nothing on me. I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm being a citizen. So you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm frustrated. How the hell I'm sitting outside for no reason? You know what I'm saying? You really don't get it though. You don't get it. It's cool. I understand you being empathetic, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? But you don't get it, bro. I already know what it is. Hey, I'm black out here. That's what the issue is.
Yeah.
All good. I get it.
Dages agreeing to this almost seems like a joke. Even if this was a sarcastic comment, it speaks volumes that this is something he feels comfortable joking about. If the cops let it go at this point, all might have been forgiven. Johnson was understanding and the female officer was polite, but Dages decides he's not finished and moves in to arrest him.
So listen to me. You're being placed under arrest for 241C, okay?
Yep.
All right.
What's 241C?
Assault on a peace officer.
Assault on an officer. Hey, okay, bet. Hey, bro, you are a whole ass. Bro, call Jerry. Call Jerry. Hey, Nick, call Jerry. You a straight bro.
Yeah, hey, except for you're the one that hit me.
Bro, I didn't hit you, bro. You started grabbing me, bro. I told you to stop touching me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Assault a police officer. You know it's on film, right? How far you think this is gonna go? Hope you don't shoot me in the back of this car or some shit. Because you guys are corrupt officers. You're for sure a corrupt because I'm not supposed to be in the back of the car in the first place.
Dages searches Johnson, then sits.
Before we go any further, America, is this commonplace? Is this foreign? Is this something that we haven't seen before? Is this something that we could say this is odd? Or how's this happening? Or is it just another cup of coffee in the cup of the United States? Is it something that we commonly see from state to state, community to community? How often do we see them show racial inequality to our white brethren? Usually when they pull up on the white brothers and sisters, it's usually that they done something. That you like, yeah, white boy was out there pissy drunk. Yeah, they did find a white boy with the what's that? The finna something. I forgot that drug, the fentanyl in his pocket. Usually when they pull up on the white boy, they usually the white brothers and sisters, they done something. Everybody else in the United States, you know what your crime is? Breathing. They always play the bad cop, good cop. One cop is an ass and the other one is getting on your last nerve by keep talking. You ever notice that? The reason why you get so pissed while you're in cuffs, you're already in pain because the cuffs are painful. You're already upset because being an upstanding citizen didn't pay off. You know that it's a racial issue. And then you got the other partner that won't shut the hell up. And they know what they're doing to antagonize you, to put you in a situation because of the prison industrial complex. In other words, money is made every time you get put into a county jail, a juvenile center, a prison in the United States. United States is one of the few countries in the world where money is made the moment those cuffs are put on you and you're stuffed in the back of a squad car. Somebody's going to make some money. And so they decided, hey, let's hit up the minorities. Statistics show that most crimes in the United States are done, not all, but over 50 to 60% of crimes are done by white males in the United States. Did you guys know that? White males perform more crimes than anybody in the United States. Yet, incarceration, over 50 to 60% of those that are incarcerated are minorities. That means that in the United States, you can be a white male and F up 100 times over. You'll be arrested, but you will not be convicted. If you're a minority, you aren't even a high percentile to commit a crime. But if you are ever arrested, you will be convicted. And you want me to stay in that country and raise my son of the future or my daughter in the future in that BS. What part of the we've been on the live stream for over 2 hours. What part of America being the greatest have we seen thus far? They always sell us that America is the greatest. Okay, cool. Where is this? Tomorrow, we're going to be discussing the economy and the job market. And we're going to also talk about the cost of living of relocating to another country. So as long as they can get minorities on probation, parole, or prisons, they can economically limit you because you'll be limited on the type of jobs that you get. The time that you would have spent building a business is the time that you were spending while you were in prison. The time that you would have spent taking care of your son and daughter and building a stronger community among the minorities, you couldn't did that. Why? Because you just spent 10 years in prison. What's so great about a country that wants to create an industrial on a New York Stock Exchange complex. Okay, some of you guys have seen me show this before. Some of you guys weren't here. Unicor Prison Products. Some of you guys, you know, I'm always king of the receipts. Some of you guys have never heard of the corporation called Unicor. Unicor is the federal prison industrial complex firm or corporation. It's on the New York Stock Exchange. You can buy the stock. This is the company that I work for, and millions of, or at least a couple million of us that were in the feds were forced to work for and create all these products that are sold to the general public. So let's let you see what I used to make in Unicor. You have also Corecraft, absolutely correct. Everything from just your basic bath items to prison accessories. We made stuff for police. Yeah, U.S. mail. Yeah, we made that in prison. Your male uniforms were made in prison. Some of those gloves that were making for safety that you see in the stores, made in prison. Body armor for police officers, made in prisons. The safety belts, made in prisons. Many other military duffel bags in the police, local police duffel bags, made in prisons. Items for prisoners, shower curtains, sheets and towels, made in prisons, sold to other prisons. Eyeglassware. Let's go to eyeglassware. Made in prisons. Just your regular eyeglasses, made in prisons. Unicor all over. All these are locations where federal prisons are. I've been here, Allentown, Pennsylvania, Lexington, Kentucky, Reno, Oklahoma, MCC, LA, MCC, Chicago, MCC, Atlanta, Jessup, Georgia. These are all the prisons that I've been to when I was in the feds. MCC, Miami, Terre Haute, Indiana, Milan, Michigan. So when I tell you I know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to locking up young men that are minorities, you'll see a couple of young white boys off in there, but you ain't gonna see too many. And usually when you see a white dude off in there, it's for a white collar crime, and he'll be out in 3 years. You'll see like the pastor that stole all the church's money, or you see some guy that created a pyramid scheme and he got caught after, $70 million, and he got caught and he had to pay a fine of $15 million, but the rest of the money he ended up keeping once he get out of prison. More products, electronics. All of these are made. These conductors are made by prisoners. This is one of my jobs. This is a federal prisoner right here. All these are federal prisons. I wore those same beige uniforms. Yeah, when your people come in and put your cable into your house, yeah. Federal prisoners. For the military. The military contractors, they come to prisoners to make a lot of their products. We make bomb racks, everything. Food services. The agriculture. We're talking about prisons. Oh, yeah. Not just food for prisoners. Dairy. Non-fat dairy milk. All, yeah. When you go into your 2% milk, prisons. Flavored orange drinks. Produce. They produce broccoli, lima beans, celery. Most people don't know even the tilapia in many grocery stores, including Walmart, comes from tilapia farms that are ran in many federal prisons. So when I tell you guys, yep, free slave labor, by law, according to the U.S. Constitution, whenever you become an inmate in a juvenile center, after conviction, juvenile center, county jail, state prison, federal prison, you literally become free labor. Or they'll throw you a few coins to keep the human rights activists away. So we made like $100 a month working 10 hours a day. So in prison, you made $100 a month, but that was to keep the human rights people away. To make it seem like it wasn't free labor when it was. So when I tell you guys that this is going on, this is why this exists. With young men that are just standing there on the corners because they're trying to get as many bodies into county jails, juvenile centers, state prisons, and federal prisons as possible. For all you guys that didn't know.
Taking him away to be charged. He also allegedly lied on his police report, saying that he observed Johnson smoking and that he took a fighting stance when he was approached. But Johnson wouldn't stand for this and decided to sue the city of La Mesa and Dages himself, citing excessive force and wrongful arrest. Around a month into the lawsuit, La Mesa agreed to pay a sum of $125,000 to Johnson. None of this money would come out of Dages' pocket, but he was swiftly fired from the La Mesa Police Department
So after it was all said and done, the brother won $125,000 from suing the police officer, but the police officer had insurance. And so the city, meaning the people, ended up having to pay the price for the stupidity of the police officer. Now, I'm not saying that in every country police brutality doesn't happen or unfairness, the way police officers behave doesn't happen. I've seen it here and there. I've even seen it during the times of the protests here in Colombia. But at the end of the day, I can say this. I don't see it on a regular basis like in the States. And actually, I see Colombian everyday people, when they get stopped by the police, they get away with stuff that you would never get away with in the States. They be dang near in the middle of a fight with the Colombian police before the Colombian police does anything about it. You got to literally start throwing blows at a Colombian police officer before he does something. If not, if you're just talking at the top of your lungs and talking reckless, they won't do anything about it. You can't say two words without them trying to put a club beside your head. What about during the era before there was body cams? How many times people have died and lost their lives in the United States prior to body cams? That's how stupid and how ignorant and how selfish a police officer has to be to forget that you literally have the body cam on. This was not somebody that sat back and they had put a camera or a cell phone on you on Instagram Live. It's literally you, the police officer, that set yourself up with your own body cam, saying stupid shit. Yes, sir, the 13th Amendment of the Constitution abolishes slavery and involuntary servitude, except as a punishment of crime for whereof the party shall be duly convicted. You know when all this started? Many of them enforced this the most after slavery to keep slaves. What are you talking about, Andre? Come on, do your homework, guys. Let's go back to middle school when they told us about slavery, and then they told us about the sharecropping era when Massa couldn't run the farm himself, so he decided to say, hey, listen, if you stay on the farm, I'll split the proceeds of the harvest with you. They never did. They conned the black people and to make them have to be in debt for the tools that the black people were using to do all the work as a sharecropper. And if you couldn't pay the master or your former master back for using his tools all year, you were convicted and sent to jail. And guess what? They made you do your time by working free labor on the farm that got you initially locked up. Now you're back to being a slave for the next few years until you pay Mr. Gilmore back for the using of his tools on the property, Mr. Sharecropper. It was legal to convict a person of color and put him back on the land that he was accused of to work free labor. That's your country, 'tis of thee. And y'all want me to come back to that. And y'all run around talking about it's the greatest country of all time. Get the fuck out of here. Let's continue on with the video.
2 years after he joined, Ashlyn Pluff, however, punched a black woman in the face, and her entire police department were just as bad and were all caught clearly on camera.
You know, before there was body cameras, I wonder how many sergeants would just light this thing up, empty this tank.
Ashland's police department were dispatched to a house party in Toledo, Ohio. Guests at the house weren't causing a disturbance, and they didn't seem violent or rowdy.
Before we go any further, that police officer said, I wonder before body cams, how many police officers would just light this area up, meaning just shoot the area up before there were body cams. That's what he just said.
Whatsoever. So when the cops decided to move in to arrest them seemingly at random, it raised serious alarm bells.
Hey, who lives here? Who's the owner I can talk to? Who lives here?
This ain't got nothing to do with us.
I'm asking who lives here. You do?
Yeah.
All right, arrest him, and them two.
Hey,
you can't go in my house. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I ain't even do nothing to you. What do you mean? Why you pushing me off the porch?
Get on the ground.
Don't stay back. Don't stay back. Failure to disperse. Failure to disperse, everybody.
The cop tells them that they're getting charges of failure to disperse. And in the state of Ohio, this charge can only be given out when the suspect's presence creates a high likelihood of physical harm or public inconvenience. In this scenario, the cop is clearly just looking for a way to get the guests in cuffs.
All right, let's just get you guys in the back of cars.
What is it? Why?
Okay, I'll explain to you. I stood here and I told everybody to go in the house.
You didn't tell me.
Are you going to let me explain or are you going to talk over me? I stood here. I told everybody in here, either go in the house or leave. After I said that, nobody moved. I said you're going to jail if you don't move. Nobody moved.
The precise reason that nobody moved might be difficult for this cop to comprehend, but it's actually because he never asked anyone to go inside the house. He simply asked who lived there and then started arresting people. It should also be noted that if this call was for public disturbance, the commotion has increased dramatically since the police arrived, and it almost seems like they're the ones that caused it. But if you think the cops are about to stop there, you're dead wrong, as this officer decides to take out his weapon to threaten the residents.
Guys, let's go!
Time to move! Let's go!
Who else wants to go to jail? Because you're about to go. 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 Why don't you listen and just go home? I don't have patience. People go to jail when I'm around. You know, before there was body cameras, I wonder how many sergeants would just light this thing up, empty this tank.
These snarky remarks from the cop are frankly terrifying, as he's essentially admitting he'd open fire on everyone here if he had the opportunity. He's drunk on power, and he's not the only one. Ashlyn Pluff is also on the scene doing exactly the same thing, only her story ends in an even more violent manner.
You're not walking back up to that house. Turn back around. I don't care. No. No. Go. I can take her ass to jail. I don't give a
Failure to disperse. Get the out now.
Go.
Tensions are clearly extremely high right now. However, what makes the following footage even crazier is that the girl we're about to meet is professional boxer O'Shea Jones, an Olympic-level athlete who should be respected and admired for her talents. But instead, she was assaulted, plain and simple.
Back up. Go. I'm asking for go. His badge. No. I'm asking for his badge. Here. Back up. I'm asking for his badge. Record that, okay? Give me your phone. Give me your phone. Nope. I'm not even up here. You can't do that to her phone. Back the up. What is wrong with y'all? You can't do that to her phone. Back up. Okay, give me her phone.
Okay,
no.
That's her phone, so you gotta keep it.
Here, let me get my phone. No, you're not.
I'm gonna let y'all breathe for a minute. I'm gonna let y'all breathe for a second, because I can imagine what's going through y'all mind. See, my mind doesn't. See, there was a day when stuff like this used to move me. This is not fair. This is a travesty. Because I was living that every day. Because after I see that footage, I had to go out to Walmart. As a grown adult man, I'd have to go out to Walmart and have to worry about if I was gonna be a part of a scenario like that, being pulled over or being harassed by police officers for no reason, even in my 50s. There are times in my 40s, if I see a police vehicle behind me, I know I don't have any outstanding tickets. I know my license is good, but I'm still looking at the cherries to see if they're riding by or if they're following me. I'm past 40 freaking years old, and I'm still looking over my shoulder like I did when I first started driving 16, 17, 18 years old. And I'm 40. How many more years am I supposed to look over my shoulder, guys, in the world's greatest country? And you talk about us that relocate to other countries and we live peace. And I've been driving for going on, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've been driving for 3.5 years now. Oh, 4 years. I've been driving in another country on another continent for 4 years, never came close to any of what my imagination was telling me that I was going through in the United States. Not one time. Never came close. Black man in a car. Black man in an expensive car. I've been stopped by other police officers. I've been noticed by police officers. Nobody's ever pulled me over. There's a brother, get him. The 2 times I've been pulled over, like I mentioned to you guys before, the 2 times I've ever been pulled over in Colombia, I got pulled over because of the car, not because of me, first of all. They saw an expensive truck, and they like, hey, let's get him. And you know what they wanted? They said, excuse me, Mr. Spence, we're having a fundraiser for wheelchairs. Could you donate a couple of dollars for wheelchairs if you don't mind? Those are the 2 times that I've been pulled over in Colombia. Because they were having a fundraiser for wheelchairs, and they figured people that had nice cars had a few dollars to spare if they could spare it. That was it. There's a lot about Colombia you can feel uncomfortable about. But worrying about the dang police ain't one of them. And if you don't be involved with criminal women, I'll put it like this. If you're not involved with criminalized women or women that will take you to criminal locations, your percentage of not even being bothered, even being noticed in Colombia dramatically drops. I'm not saying that I can never get robbed in Colombia. What I'm saying is because I don't put myself in the positions or go to locations where 9 times out of 10, a motorcycle will pull up on me and give me your stuff. I don't even go into places like that. My percentage drops dramatically. So I'm less likely in my 60s to get harassed by a police officer than a 60-year-old man in the United States being harassed by a police officer. So now that you guys have been able to kind of like calm down, breathe a little bit, breathe. Shout out to my man, Black Nubian. He said, I have a family in the U.S., but I refuse to go there. Man, listen, I'm going to tell you something. If it wasn't for the Black Manosphere Conclave and me having to go see my sister, I would have no reason to go back. Other than my sister and the Black Manosphere Conclave, I have no reason to go back. None. And I love the United States. I love my country. I ain't no hater in my country at all. So anybody think that these videos that we're doing are he's anti-American, far from it. We're just having a conversation. Shout out to my man Theo in the building. He said, Andre wants to meet Chewbacca. No, that's all right. We love Chewie. Shout out to Chewie. JB said, when I was 18, I was pulled over by my father's Trans Am, and they kept asking me if it was mine. And the only reason they let me go that night, they found my father's badge number with the registration. It's a damn shame. Your father has to be somebody in order for you to be left the hell alone. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what reason would I have to go back to the state. And I mean, I'm not being harsh or hating on the states. I'm trying to think of, because I lived in Florida. Hear me out. I lived in Florida for the most part once I came home. So I wasn't back in Cleveland. I wasn't back in Chicago. I wasn't back in Detroit where most of my family is. So I didn't have that day-to-day interaction relationship with them on a regular basis. So I wasn't like the cousin that would show up to every family event because I'm not there. The closest person I have since my mom has passed on, my grandmother's passed on, is my sisters. Other than my sisters, my brother, Funny Style, I love him, but he wasn't a Funny Style brothers. And my Uncle Jeffrey, Ghostface, he can tell you, yeah, Andre Brothers Funny Style. And he's like that for everybody, not just me. He's like that with everybody. My brother's kind of like outside the box, like good dude, really good dude, but some ain't, yeah. Good dude. So if I don't have family keeping me there and visiting friends, I could talk to my friends video on the phone like I always do. What reason do I have to go back to the States? Some of you guys don't want it. You don't want to admit, and it hurts your feelings to realize that you might not have a reason to go back to the States either. And it just hurts your little heart to realize, like, man, I ain't got nobody in the States that's gonna miss me like that. I don't, and don't care. Man, I ain't got. Some of y'all just don't want to sit back and look at your Rolodex and say, man, I really ain't cool with my people like that. You know, I got a cousin I'm cool with, but yeah, I ain't got nobody I want to go miss me. I'm gonna miss either. And it's hard for some of you guys to admit that, and ain't nothing wrong with it. You see, it's easy for me to say it. Anybody that I would love to have wanted to be around on a regular basis have already passed on. And for some of you, it's like that too. Like I said, I got cool friends. I talk to them all the time. But other than that, Theo says, I have no reason to be there either. He said, I'm leaving and bringing all my gym equipment with me. Man, you don't leave that gym equipment there as if they don't have gyms in Japan. Man, I'll be donating that gym equipment. Here you go, fellas. I'm about to buy me some new equipment in Japan. He said, Andre, I was thrown in the police car for waiting for Chinese food while being categorized. Changed my life. Absolutely correct, Dave. Many of us black men have had incidences with police officers. Eric says this. Shout out to Eric being in the building. He says, what's the coolest city in Colombia to go to? Depending on who you are. Depending on what you want, in other words. Some guys are beach life guys. They got to have a beach, you know. Some guys need a big city, so they like Bogota or Medellin. They got to have that city life. Some dudes need to have the in-between, not too big, not too small, like me, so they come to Cali. Some dudes like smaller towns, so they go to the coffee region. Some dudes, they want quiet. They just want peace. Give me a piece of land. Give me a finca, and give me 1 or 2 fine Colombians that I could just have babies with. And so they go to the farmland areas. So it depends on what you're looking for. Never live your dreams off of somebody else's dreams when it comes to relocations. I can make suggestions, but I kid you not, I know guys that moved to Medellin for 2 or 3 years and were like, man, I love it, but I'm a beach dude. I'm like, why'd you move to Medellin? Because everybody else is moving to Medellin. Well, that was crazy. And now they're living in Cartagena, living that beach life, and you can't tell them nothing. So yeah, it depends on what you're looking for. He says, so many of us have been detained because we fit the description. Remember, when you live in a country with a prison industrial complex, that means that they make money every time somebody goes and get fingerprinted. Every time those handcuffs goes on somebody and they throw somebody in the back of the police car, and then the money starts turning because somebody gets paid to feed you the next morning in that county jail. Somebody gets paid to guard you. Somebody gets paid to be the electrical, the utilities for the prison, the water, the heating, the air, all of it. Somebody's getting paid. Somebody's getting paid. That's why they say it costs so many thousands of dollars a year to house a prisoner in prison or county jails and things like that, or juvenile centers. Somebody's making money. Every time somebody gets arrested, somebody is making money. And right now, because the United States prisons and county jails, and right now even schools, local schools are going from being privatized to public, everybody's making money off of contract work. Everybody's making money off of contract work. Why have a regular prison when it can be privatized and we can make money? United States is literally one big corporation. You're getting arrested and harassed because they need bodies to make money. You are nothing more than just like Neo in the Matrix when they were in that little fetus position. That's all you are when they put you in prisons. You help keep the system running. Shout out to Brio in the building. He said, big up Andre for bringing up this thought-provoking subject. Supporting black male media. Yes, sir. And save yourself, black men, for a more rewarding and relaxing life. Bruh, I was waking up this morning, Brio, and Andre had just cooked breakfast, right? So she cooks every breakfast. We sit at the dining room table. We eat breakfast every day, right? And I was looking out in our balcony, in our new apartment, the whole wall collapses. So the balcony is so large that the whole wall just collapses open. So you got the whole scenery. And I'm just sitting up there just appreciating my life. I got a beautiful wife. I'm having a great, healthy breakfast. The sun is gleaming and shining. And I get a chance in the evening to talk to you guys for a couple of hours on a live stream. Not bad for a dude that was doing 10 years in prison, not even 20 years ago. I get to travel the world. I want investments. I don't necessarily need to be rich. I am already rich. Everything I get from now on is an add-on. It's a bonus. It's a cherry on top. I focus my life on preparing myself for when I'm gone now. Just in case you guys are wondering, all investments that I make now, all the things that I do now with this thing called life, I'm 57 years old. I'm preparing for when we have kids and when I'm gone. That's all I think about. Setting up monies for when we have kids and setting up monies for when I'm gone. That's it. I've got so much peace and I'm so blessed, and I haven't even made it to $1 million yet. And I know guys that, such as Robin Williams, that were worth millions and took their lives. Amy Winehouse and others that we know that were worth millions and were famous and everybody loved them, and they took their own lives. And I feel like I'm worth more than they are just waking up in the morning. Every morning I wake up like it's a vacation. I kid you not. I wake up every morning like I don't treat it like a vacation, but I treat it like I have died and gone to heaven. Like it's a whole new world. Even on my worst day, it's better than some of my best days back home in the States. I'll say that again. Even the worst days I've had outside the United States, some of them have been better than my best days in the United States. And that's a damn shame. And I love my country. Yeah. Yeah. IQS is in the building. IQS says this. He said, I've been to Cape Town, South Africa for the past 2 weeks. Shout out to you, man. Taylor Made Dreams is down that area. Yeah. We found out you down there with Taylor Made Dreams. He said, I have a feeling I'm going to cry on the, you're going to, I'm telling you, you're going to cry. Man, please, I cried. Man, my first 2 or 3 trips back to the States, man, I was boo-hooing. And he said, on the plane coming back to the States tomorrow. Man, listen, man, you're going to be like Simply Red. Holding back the tears. I'll keep holding on. Holding back them tears, bro. My man JB says this. Shout out to you, Jay, once again for the Cash App the other day. Jay says this. He said, like BMT Travel says, travel is better than therapy. And speaking of BMT, shout out to that brother and the Passport Bro movement. Shout out to those brothers. Let me see if I can see their link. There we go.
Hey, Globetrotters! Are you ready to elevate your travel game and make every trip unforgettable? Get ready to revolutionize your adventures with Passport Bros app, your ticket to turning passion into profit. With Passport Bros, your travel videos and posts aren't just memories, they're money makers. Share your awe-inspiring experiences with the world and watch your bank account grow with every click. But wait, there's more. Connect with a vibrant community of fellow explorers, where camaraderie knows no borders. Exchange insider tips, forge lasting friendships, and create memories that last a lifetime. And that's not all. Gain access to exclusive discounts on accommodations, from cozy boutique hotels to luxurious resorts, ensuring you can travel in style without breaking the bank. So why settle for ordinary when you can experience the extraordinary? Join the Passport Bros app today and unlock a world of adventure, connection, and endless possibilities. Download the app now and let the journey of a lifetime begin.
Download now on the App Store and Google Play.
Shout out to the Passport Bro app. Make sure you guys download that app, man. It's absolutely free to download. And my man, Big Pitt says this. He says, self-peace is priceless, Dre. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct, man. And I thought I'd never understand, you know, when guys want peace. I never thought I'd be on the other end of experiencing this type of peace. He said, Jericho says this. He said, or Jirock, my bad. Jirock says this. He says, jail is our final destination for definition of for American. Make sure that they don't have their passwords stuck with no way out. Or did you mean passports? Either way. Yeah. Let's go back to the video, guys.
Giving your phone to anyone. Breaking my wrist. Then stop moving. You angry. Calm down. You angry.
Just stop
She's
twisting.
angry. All I'm saying is she's squeezing my hand
twisting,
for no
quit turning.
reason. Will you quit moving? Stop cussing at me. She just hit me. Y'all just see that? I know. She just hit me. I know. She just hit me.
Ma'am.
You see that? I got it.
You're supposed to be an Olympic boxer.
I am. I asked for your badge number.
Oh, mine? You were talking about mine? It's 355.
There's no way to justify this attack. O'Shea was surrounded by officers and restrained, and Ashlyn punched her for no reason other than anger and hatred. However, unlike the officer from before, it seems that Ashlyn had completely failed to consider the fact that every cop here was equipped with a body cam, and she was in plain view of all of them. But in a tragic twist of fate, prosecutors found this use of force to be justified. They posit that O'Shea was resisting arrest, and the punch was a compliance technique. Instead, she was verbally reprimanded for her use of profanity in the incident, but received no criminal charges. But there's no better.
Not one criminal charge. Not a one. She got a verbal warning for her language. She got a verbal warning for what she said, but she has a history of whooping up on black people. Y'all want me to stay in that bullshit. Y'all have yet to convince me why America is the greatest country in the world. I am not convinced. Can somebody put in the comment section, other than making some money, why America is the greatest country in the world? We got the strongest military. Not every country needs military. Thus saith Canada. Thus saith a lot of other countries. A lot of other countries have been around a lot longer and will be around a lot longer after America is gone, and they will not have the strongest militaries. There are countries that are thousands of years old that have not had the strongest military. Am I lying? There are countries in Europe that have never had the strongest military. Okay. What? South America has been around forever and a day. When has South America, since it's broken up, since it broke up itself into 12 different countries, since that time period, when has it ever had to have the strongest military? Who? Colombia? Nope. Brazil? Suriname? Guyana? Venezuela? Couldn't be. Can't be Uruguay, Paraguay. Bolivia. Got to be the strong. No, you got to have a whole damn continent of countries that can get along good enough with a decent military and don't have to be the strongest military. So all that having the strongest military, why? Why? Because we always called on to help other people. That could be it. I could agree with that part. We always called on to help other people. We want to be the big dogs. That could be another reason. We want to be the big dogs. Nobody can come at us and protect us, or attack us. I agree with that. No problem with that. But let's not run around and act like every country has to have the strongest military for you to live in it. I'm going to say it again. Every country doesn't have to have the strongest military for human beings to live in. There are plenty of countries that are thriving and enjoying themselves on a day-to-day basis, and they may not have the strongest, only a strong military. Yeah, military dominance. That could be it. Yeah, that could be it. Nothing wrong with that. But why do we have to deal with it? Even to have a strong military, why do we have to deal with these crazy police officers in the United States? Why? I don't get it. Let's put it like this. When I'm in Houston, if it really ain't in walking distance, maybe a few spots, unless somebody comes to pick me up that I know, like Dennis Berlin or somebody, 9 times out of 10, I ain't gonna be going too far anyway. I am paranoid of the United States when it comes to how the police act. And I'm in my 50s. I just want to go in, enjoy the weekend with you guys, fly to Cleveland, see my sister, get the hell out. That's it. It's not about having a strong military presence, but it also is one of the strongest police presence in the world. Because for any reason, they're trying to lock you up in the States. Let me check the Wi-Fi. Thanks, Dave. Let me check the Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's looking bad. That is looking bad. Let me see something. Let me see something real quick with the Wi-Fi, guys. Thank you for your patience, by the way. Okay, that should be better. A little better. It's going to take a few moments to get perfect, but that should be a little better, my friends, my brethren. All right. Should take a few more moments to clear up for us. Hopefully that works out. Thank you very much, International Quiet Storm, for dropping the link for the Cash App. Thank you guys for supporting. Let's go back to the video.
Example of racism than yelling racial slurs at a suspect, and that's what Officer Tim Garcia was caught doing on July 14th, 2018. The suspect, Dwayne Robinson, was allegedly getting aggressive and confrontational with mall patrons, using vulgar language and threatening them. After Robinson was asked to leave, he complied, but the guards continued to follow him and eventually detained him.
They was like, you understand? I said, look, man, I went like that. I said, look, y'all already told me what it was. I was like, I'm already walking off. Okay. So I tried to go back that way. I was like, I thought there was an exit, and they grabbed my bag. I said, look, man, don't grab my bag like that. Yeah. All they had to tell me was like, look, sir, there's not an exit over here. Yeah. And they was like, all right, we want you to exit the mall. I was like, look, man, I'm not about to exit the mall, bro. I said, look, I want the cops to come here to let y'all know the dumb y'all doing. Yeah. But look, I ain't even did nothing.
To recap, Robinson has basically said that he was confused why security asked him to leave, but he complied until they started to get physical with him. He then asked them to alert police to try and work everything out. But as it turns out, this would be a huge mistake. The cop would soon turn out to be not just rude, but derogatory and insulting.
Now, my question to you is, if they tell you to leave the mall, you gonna leave the mall?
No, I don't want to. That's why I called you.
I understand you don't want to, but if they tell you, are you gonna leave the mall?
I'm not asking for what.
Okay, they don't have to tell you. If they don't want you here, you're not here, okay?
That makes no sense.
Okay, here's the deal. Now you're gonna get argumentative with me. They won't put you in jail. I'll put you in jail. We cool on that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You have your ID? Let me just get your information. I'm gonna get their information, and then we'll be up.
Y'all take my information, but like, they talking about they want to give me for criminal trespass.
Yeah, they might give you a criminal trespass.
Look, I ain't even did. Why y'all give me criminal trespass? What you mean, bro? What you mean they can't?
Shit.
No, hold on. What you mean
no,
they can't?
Okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna ask you to do something. I'm gonna tell you that I'm gonna make you.
Let me go, bro. Look, go ahead and let me go, bro. Look, go ahead and let me go, bro. Stop tensing up. Yes, you are.
You know what? Now you're under arrest.
For what? Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Now you're.
I think blacks should learn self-defense and know what they know. Why? I'm serious, Dave. Why? Why should blacks learn self-defense and know what they know? Against, we're looking at police. Shout out to you, black empowerment. We're looking at police situations. So should blacks learn self-defense against police? You're one young man and you know self-defense, and if 3 or 4 police officers stand around you in a mall, including 3 security guards. I'm trying to understand, Dave. I'm not being facetious or anything. I'm just trying to, we're just conversing back and forth. What made the Black Panthers such a force wasn't just that they had guns. They knew the law. If you want to hide, like Dave said earlier, if you want to have something from black folks, put it in the police manual. Y'all ain't trying to know the law. Y'all trying to fuss. He's absolutely correct. The Panthers could quote their state laws like nobody else could. He said, get what you're saying, Andre. It just looks a little different. I look at it a little differently. Of course you do. You're still there in the States. And so you see it from the, from the perspective of, that it's still a problem in the communities that you drive through every day, just regular everyday people. But I have to agree, at least know the laws of our states. See, I was one of the ones that when they said, if you don't like the United States, you can get the hell out. Okay. Seriously. I might do a video on that one. If you don't like the United States, you can get the hell out. Okay. There's a lot of us, you don't realize, over the last 5 years that are like, okay. See, it used to be an insult. What you mean, get out? My people helped build this country. I ain't got to go nowhere. No. Them days done. Nobody is saying, you can't make me go. No. You can get out. Yeah, you're right. Bye. Once you spend about a good, like IQS, once you spend about a good 2 weeks to a month outside the United States, and you can breathe the fresh air of insight from another country, your life will never be the same again. Air just won't be the same air. Water, fire. You could light a fire. You'd be like, that's some United States fire. I recognize that's U.S. fire. It don't look like the fire in Brazil. You look up in the clouds, you see the clouds in Africa. You're like, man, these clouds don't look nothing like the clouds that we get in the States. You go back to the States and just some regular old clouds. Just ain't nothing special about them clouds no more. Yeah. He say, know the laws, keep quiet, let them charge you, kick their butts in court, not in the streets. That's the one thing that police officers use against black people. They know that we're emotional creatures. They know that we were raised by single mothers, and a lot of us learned to be emotional from our mama. Can I be real? A lot of us are raised by single mothers. Statistically, 80% of black community over the last at least decade plus, a generation plus, have been raised by single mothers. And your mama taught you how to be emotional just by an emotional example. Not all of us, but many of us. And so when it comes to dealing with police officers, one of the things that police officers love, and I'm talking to even some of you retired police officers, you know it and you don't want to admit it. You love the fact that black people are emotional and easily triggered. The fastest people you can lock up, everybody knows, is an emotional human being. Because an emotional human being will ask all type of unnecessary questions. An emotional human being will get loud and erratic and emotional and mad and angry, and they give them any type of reason to lock them up. That young man should have walked out of that mall. Technically, he was trespassing. If somebody tells you to leave their place of business, you do not have the right to stay. That's just the laws of the land. Everybody knows that. But when you take an emotional being and try to explain that to an emotional being, it still comes off as emotional. And now you got another piece of body that you can lock up in jail over the weekend. And they know it. Police officers know black people and Latin people are emotional, passionate people. And they use that against us day in, day out. A lot of times, like he just said, it's hard for us to sit back. Like IQS just said, it's hard for us to sit back, listen, keep our mouth shut, know the laws, fight them in court. That's why you have that one police officer that's ready to arrest you. If you watch every one of these scenes that we just seen, it was always that 1 or 2 police officers that were waiting to pounce to arrest. And it was always that one police officer that wouldn't shut the hell up. Every scenario, I've dealt with those police officers. You've dealt with those police officers. Some of your nephews and some of your uncles and some of your cousins have dealt with that same routine. They always have 1 or 2 police officers ready to cuff you or shoot you, and always have one that, what a lot of times is the female, that's constantly talking, and talking and baiting you in and reeling you in. So all of that knowing self-defense would mean nothing if you live your life based off of emotions. Why'd you stop me? You stopped me because I'm black. Yeah. Yep. Our mothers, many of our mothers messed our heads up for a long time, bro. It's dudes in jail right now because their mama messed their head up. It's dudes in graves right now that got shot by a cop because their mama taught them how to be emotional and not to shut the heck up and just chill and let the situation just ride on through. That young man that we're watching right now should have never even been touched. He should have been walking down the street, hanging out with his friends, enjoying life. But because he was emotional and did not want to listen to the police officers say, you cannot be on this property. I mean, the security guard saying you cannot be on this property right now. They didn't say you could never come back. They just said today you are trespassing. Would you please leave? And we don't know what the true truth is. And to sit back and call the police on the police, that's stupid as can be. But he's young. He doesn't know any better. And these police officers with nobody, think about it. You got police officers, see where they were standing. Nobody in that mall could see anything. There was no people walking in the background. So this young man is by himself with 2 or 3 security guards and 2 or 3 police officers by yourself. And all the police officers were saying, if they ask you to leave, will you leave? And all that playing like it's a game. I didn't know where the exit was. You know how to get into a mall. Most malls got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different exits. And to sit back and say, I didn't know how to get out of a mall. Stop it, bro. And this is the funny part. The security guards, when they asked him to leave, probably trusted him to leave. And then they saw him again, maybe 5 minutes later, because if he didn't know where to go, the security guard would have obviously escorted him to the nearest exit. But because they probably trusted him, son, you got to leave. Whatever he was doing, son, you got to leave. Okay, I'm leaving, security guards, I'm leaving. And probably a few minutes later, the officers, the security guard probably was like, ain't that the kid we just told to leave? I couldn't find the exits. You can't find the exits in a mall. I ain't never been to a mall in the United States that's that big where I can't find none of these motherfuckers. Just go with an area where the sun is shining. Where the windows are shining and the sun is shining. That's where the exit is, son. Like most of us know. In other words, he's doing just like his mama taught him, because a lot of times women do that, don't they? They play dumb. They play like they don't know when they know. We've seen that night in and night out on Kevin Samuels, didn't we? Women playing dumb. And this boy learned how to play dumb from his mama. He played dumb with the police officer. I don't know why. What you mean? If he asked me to leave, should I leave? Why should I leave? Why should I leave? Oh, now you want to play dumb. You don't know what trespassing is. You don't have the right to be on somebody else's property. Just like nobody has the right to be on your property. That's like me coming to his mama house and just standing on the front porch and saying, no matter what he says, sir, you have to leave. I don't have to leave. I've got the right to stand on your mother's porch. Well, you don't know us, sir. Why? My mother asked you to leave. I'll have to call the police to escort you off my mother's property. If I was standing there on his mother's property, I would have to leave. Why? Because I'm trespassing. But because a lot of black men and women, when it comes to being around the police, we're emotional creatures, police play on that. There's a lot of dudes in jail right now because of their freaking emotions. It's so sad how we play ourselves. So sad how we play ourselves. We need to stop that. Shout out to T-Mac with the $10 cash app. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Last time you guys sent me cash apps, I got a call from, I didn't tell you guys this. I got a call from Tailor Made Dreams in South Africa. And he was like, hey, Dre, I need you. He said, and I think I told you guys about this. This was like this week. And he was like, hey, I'm having a fundraiser for the kids down here in South Africa. I forgot which country he's in. And he said, I'm going to send you the video of what we're doing with the kids. But we got a lot of stuff that we're doing down here for these kids in this orphanage. And so I need you to send me. And I just took all the cash apps that you guys sent me and I just sent it to him. And then he sent me the video today of all that they were doing for the kids in that location, man. I've always said, man, that's a special place in heaven for that dude, Tailor Made Dreams. That man, every country he goes to, he takes care of kids. You know, a lot of guys don't remember Tailor Made Dreams lost 2 of his daughters at an older age, like they were over the age of 10 years old. He lost 2 daughters. A lot of you guys know his daughter that he has now, the young baby that's like 2 years old. But Tailor Made Dreams had 2 young daughters. He lost 1 in DR and lost 1 in the States. So he has a heart for children. So anytime you guys get a chance on Tailor Made Dreams channel to support him, man, support that brother, man, because he does a lot. Every country he goes to, he doing something for kids. And it be in out of the way spots that you don't even know exist in that country. You're like, how do you even get to that area of that country to even find some kids? Yep, absolutely correct. Because of emotions. Your mama taught you how to act a fool because that's what she did, and you act a fool in front of the police. Your mama played dumb to your daddy, and so she played dumb, and bada bing, bada boom. David says, Andre, I'll tell you during our consultation why I said what I said to give us some clarity. Okay, cool, Dave. That's cool. Like a good discussion. He said, Dre, let me know if that cash app went through. Oh, shout out to Dre with the $20. With the $20 holla. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you, Dre. Yes, it did. Let's get ready to go back to the video.
Under arrest for criminal trespass.
After Robinson allegedly refused to hand over his ID, the cops decided to arrest him. At this point, they have decent reason for this. Robinson did refuse to leave the property when asked, and if Garcia is to be believed, he even took up an aggressive stance when he was asked to hand over his ID. But that's not the important part. That comes when Robinson is on the ground, cuffed and helpless, as the cops start to become more blunt and abusive.
You say, look, give me your ID, so I was about to give it to you.
But you did? No. You took it back.
What do you mean, bro?
It's all on camera.
Fast, bro. I didn't do nothing.
Dude, look how old I am. You think I act back? I listened to all your stupid for like 5 minutes.
Look, bro, and I said, look, before I give y'all my ID,
Once again, Dre.
y'all tell me, like, why would I get a criminal trespass?
And I told you, if you're not shopping here, they don't want you.
All right, look, and they didn't even tell me, I don't even have criminal trespass.
You do now. Now you're going to jail.
Tensing up like that? Who you had my arm, bro? No, I answered your question, bro. I'm not your fool. I'm nothing like that.
Bro,
all I did was ask a question. Right, and we asked you for your ID, and you refused to give it to us.
And look, I said, look, can y'all tell me? All right, give me your ID. So look, I'm about to give it to you.
Did I not tell you the routine of the police officers? One is the bad guy. The other is the one that does not shut the hell up and keep talking. One is the bad. In all the scenarios we looked at, and I've been in this scenario, there's always one cop that's the bad guy, the jerk, and the rest of them just do not shut up. And you were responded to it because you were raised in an emotional environment. The worst thing to ever happen to black people. Y'all ready? You ready? Is that because of what we've been through, we are so dang emotion driven. We spend our money through emotions, not rationality, not logic, not any of that. We spend our money through emotions. We establish relationships through emotions. We break up relationships because of emotions. I don't feel like I'm in love anymore. I think I'm going to divorce him. Because of emotions. We've destroyed the Black community for many reasons. But one of the major reasons that we don't want to talk about why so many men are in jail and in hell right now is because we are an emotional, not passionate, emotional people. And since other cultures see it, they play on it. That's why you see constantly the bad cop and the talkative cop. The bad cop and the talkative cop. The bad cop got on your last nerve. You want to punch him out with your emotions. The talkative cop is just amplifying and making the situation worse. It's always like that. It's always like that. And then you got retired cops that want to sit back and retire and act like they never did anything wrong. I was always sweet. I was always a good cop, and I always helped make sure that the cat got out of the tree, and I was helping the firemen, and I helped the old ladies across the street. You think I trust retired cops? Retired cops should be the ones that's giving therapy to these current cops. Retired cops should be the ones that are saying, I need to talk to some of you new dudes because this is what you're going to go through in the next couple of years. I don't know who I don't trust the most in the United States, a good cop or a bad cop. Because bad cops, at least I know that they just up to no good. Good cops will stand there and don't say anything and let you get choked out in 9 minutes because somebody had their knee on your neck, even though the good cops stood around and watched you die. So who the hell am I supposed to trust? The dude with the knee on my neck or the dude that sat back in a crowd and watched me expire? So all you cops that sit back and say, well, I was a good cop, then you just as bad as the bad ones because you never said anything until the day that you retired. I never saw you lose your badge or get written up or get suspended because you were trying to save somebody's life that almost died at the hands of your partner. So all you good cops that retired, you just as bad, and it's a special place waiting for you, just like a special place waiting for you for them bad cops. That's why I never, when it comes to police officers, and y'all talk about, I was a police officer for 30 years. Good. Let's not talk about it. I'll listen to a military story all day long, but a cop story, I'd give less than a damn what a cop got to say. I will listen to retired military vets week upon week telling stories, shedding tears, letting me know what they've been through. But a cop, a good cop, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that blue wall. A good cop, you can't tell me one of your stories. I never, other than watching this footage, a good cop can't tell me none of his stories. None, not a one. Now, I've gotten discussions and arguments with cops because I'm like, dude, I don't give a dang about your stories. Nobody cares about your stories. Nobody cares about your stories. Why? Because when it was time in life, when you were a cop for 30 years, there were opportunities for you to make sure that no evil happened to somebody, and you stood back with your mouth shut and you let that evil happen anyway in your 30 years. And don't tell me you didn't. Don't tell me you didn't. So that's why when good cops try to sit up there and try to tell me the story when they were on the force, dude, keep on drinking your beer, dog. Just we friends. Don't mess it up by trying to tell me your cop stories, because all you're gonna do is lose a good friend in me. That's all a good cop can do. If you tell me, if you want to be my friend in Colombia, be a retired cop, that's cool. Andrea was 30 years on the force. Cool, got you. I will never ask a good cop any of his stories. I don't want to hear shit you got to say. Ever. Well, let's finish off these beers and finish watching this soccer game and enjoy the rest of our lives as if you wasn't a cop and I wasn't a prisoner. That's how I look at it. He said, what I found is that some veteran cops told the new cops how to get away with things. That could be true, my brother. That can be true. Let's get back to the proving that America is the greatest country in the world.
Serving the peace. Serving the peace.
Yeah, this is peaceful. It was.
Don't want to give us your arms. Man, we have action. That's just the way it goes.
The way you were raised is bull.
Tell me how
I'm telling you how you're raised.
Well, you got me.
Yeah, you are up.
Police officers are supposed to do nothing other than protect the public and de-escalate tense situations. But it seems that Garcia has absolutely no concern for his image whatsoever, as he decides to take it up a notch by using slurs and acting blatantly racist.
You too. Hey, here, look. This is a police. This is a police. You. How do you like that? Police said, just said it right back to you. You. I don't. On camera, I'll say it. Do I look like you? Well, I'm only 3.4% African. I'm 3.4% Sub-Saharan African. There you go. Say it right. Put an R at the end. If you're gonna say it, don't call me. I ain't.
Not only did the cop just say all of that completely unapologetically, he did it all right after acknowledging that he's happy to do it on camera just to prove a point. But he wasn't done yet.
For being Oh man, I'm just trying to get it right. I'm trying to get it right.
Where you want me to go, man?
That way. Everything was going good. You and I had a good rapport.
Yes, we did. Y'all didn't talk about kids. Trying to me and bro.
Your life. I think you your life up. I can do that. I don't think you will.
The verbal abuse should have been far more than enough, but once the cops got outside and close to their patrol cars, they decided it was also time to throw some physical abuse into the mix too, completely unwarranted.
What are you doing? Stop. I'm trying to take your shoes off. Just stop. Quit acting like Why are you trying to take my shoes off? Because I have to search you. All you gotta do is behave. Why can't you just behave, dude?
Dude, you keep tensing up, you keep getting it.
There you go. If you don't keep back on my feet,
because we gotta make sure you ain't got nothing in there.
If you think it's unusual that the cops are taking Robinson's shoes off, you'd be completely right. He's being arrested for trespassing, not a drug charge, not a weapons charge, and nothing dangerous whatsoever, especially when you realize that the cops didn't even search his shoes and forced him to walk on a hot pavement in the middle of July, barefoot.
Hey, bro, can you stop harassing me?
Dude, this all would have been over if you would have just handed me your ID. You pulled it out of your wallet, you were fixing to hand it to me, and then you pulled it back, and you just didn't want to cooperate, man. You had it. You were there. All you had to do is give me your ID. We're gonna
get you up.
We're gonna stand up. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hey, look, man. Y'all not gonna put my back in my mother.
They're gonna go with you.
Watch it.
Robinson was brought back to jail on charges of trespassing and resisting, but it's what happened to the officers after the event that was so interesting and gives us a clear window into the corrupt insides of a police department. An investigation was of course launched into Garcia, and Garcia's sergeant wrote that he thought a written reprimand would be the appropriate punishment. According to him, Garcia didn't use the word in a racist manner or direct it at anyone. He simply repeated the word back to Robinson. 2 lieutenants also reviewed the incident, and they concurred with the recommendation of a letter of reprimand. Thankfully though, the deputy chief saw the footage and believed that the banter, escalation, and use of profanity was extremely unprofessional and forwarded the incident to Internal Affairs for a formal investigation. Eventually, the video made its way to the San Antonio police chief, who recommended an indefinite suspension for Garcia. He said it was by no means reprimandable conduct. This whole thing was as wrong as it can be. In a last-ditch effort to defend himself, Garcia topped all his actions off with a final derogatory and insulting statement, claiming that all he did was use a similar language as a means of communicating his point, repeating his language back in order to speak a vernacular he would understand. In January of 2019, Garcia was indefinitely suspended from his role with the San Antonio Police Department.
Want you to glorify it. Oh, it's the truth. And he gives in the stadium.
Police chief who recommended an indefinite suspension as a means of communicating his point, repeating his language.
Okay, so we've looked at, before I let you guys go, we've already looked at when it comes to racism and racial inequality and economic instability as far as the community. Black people have the money, but using it wrong. When it comes to politics, we looked at all the politicians have said something racial to you and you still are voting for them. Trump has, other people have, Biden has, and you're still voting for them. So if you think politicians are going to have your back, what for? I want to ask you, black people, what for? Come on, my people, what for? If you got $1.6 trillion, why should somebody feel sorry for you economically? If you're spending it as fast as you get it, why? Answer this question, why? If you're voting for the politicians that are saying that you're not black if you don't vote for them, or saying that the immigrants are going to take your black jobs, why should I feel sorry for you in the political realm? When it comes to policing of our communities, we don't study the laws. We're using too many emotions. We do it year in, year out. We've been doing it since the 60s, using our feelings and our emotions and thinking that's going to stop the cops. As long as we get loud and we get smart with the cops, that's going to do something about it. And it never has and never will. Since the time of the Klan. Come on, black people. Tell me something why America is so great. Now we're about to go into sports. This is the last part we're going to look at is sports. We're going to look at when it comes to racism through the eyes of the great Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, Mr. World Series himself. Racism through the eyes of Reggie Jackson.
Not the answer they were looking for. Oh my goodness. So I came across this clip on Twitter where you have Aaron Rodriguez talking to Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson. And he's asking him, hey, Reggie, how does it feel to be back in the stadium, right? How does it feel to be back, where you once played with a great team, okay, as being a great baseball athlete? How does it feel?
How emotional is it for you to come back to a play that you played with one of the greatest teams around? And
Reggie, what happens next is that Reggie gives him the truth, and he gives the viewers the truth. And the truth is that it wasn't great, because the answer that they were expecting, the answer was, I want people to understand this, whenever they ask you these dumb questions, how does it feel? What does it feel like to win? Blah, 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 blah. They want you to glorify it. Oh, it was great, to be back in the stadium. It brings back memories of me hitting home runs, great stuff. That's what they want, okay? They want you to reminisce about really, really trash times they put you in. That's what they want. That is what the producers, that is what everyone wanted and was expecting him to say. And that's not what happened. And I'm glad that's not what happened, because what he tells is a tale of horror, because that's what it was. He talks about, he wouldn't wish this on anyone. Think about that. He wouldn't wish what he went through on anyone. He was talking about, where they couldn't go to eat at diners. So they say, I don't want that N-word in my place.
Alex, when people ask me a question like that, it's like, coming back here is not easy. The racism that I played here, want to do it again. I walked into restaurants and they would point at me and said, can't eat here. I would go to a hotel and they say, then can't stay here.
Couldn't find places to sleep because they were like, I don't want that N-word in this hotel. It got so bad where he was talking about where he had to sleep with a friend and they threatened I believe, I can't recall, but they threatened to cause harm to the apartment complex by having him in it.
I slept on their couch 3-4 nights a week for about a month and a half. Finally, they were threatened that they would burn the apartment complex down unless I got out.
I want you to understand this. Now, here's also what you have to understand. These demons, these saltine, demonic possessed people, what they love to do is never take accountability for their actions. Never. They will never do it. What they want you to do is downplay it. That's what they want you to do. They want you to downplay it. They want you to put on your smile and start dancing and be like, oh, it wasn't so bad. We had a really good during Jim Crow. That's what they want you to start doing. And he wasn't doing that. He wasn't doing that. He didn't say the N-word. He said the actual hard R and let people know what he had to experience. And I want people to understand that this was what he was playing in 1980s or so. That was 30 years ago. 30 years ago. That wasn't that long ago, because what they love to do is try to say, oh, it was a long time ago, Lucas. Oh, what you talking about? That was a long time ago. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't at all. Now, you tell me where I'm wrong. You tell me, okay, this lineage of evil, you want to tell me that it changed within 30 years? According to who? According to what? By what metric? Nothing in many regards has changed. The only thing, if anything at all, that has changed is the superficial cosmetic appearance of things. That's it. Everything else is the same. That hatred that they have for us, that inferiority complex that they have, that's in their heart. It takes some time to change the heart. And really, you can't change the heart. The only person who can change the heart is God. That's the only person. And as we can see with Pharaoh, even sometimes that doesn't work. So you have to understand, they have to change themselves. People keep talking about racism, right? The dumbest person on this planet, probably Morgan Freeman, probably at least top 10, when he was asked, how do we stop racism? He talks about, don't talk about it. Dumbest response ever. When it comes to racism, it comes to not us. We can try and fight for change, but we are not, unfortunately, in positions of power to cause that change. We're not there. Racism to end, that's on white people. That's who that's on. Whether you're Jewish, agnostic, Semitic, I don't care. That's who that's on to end racism. They keep on talking about what racism. We didn't start it, okay? And we can't finish it. That's not how that's gonna work. I can't change your evil wickedness. I can't change your heart. I can't change how you feel about someone due to the color of their skin and due to the propaganda you've been fed. And in this country, what has happened is they have profited off of racism. Think about that. They have now codified it to the extent where they found a way to make money off of what they do best. Because they get paid both ways. They get paid off of the Fox News, who tries to say it doesn't happen, it doesn't exist, or downplay it, and they get paid off of the CNN, who tries to hyperbolize it in some cases and saying, hey, it's everywhere, your dog maybe even be racist, where it gets to the point where it's a mockery. That's what these two demons are doing. They're making a mockery of us, and they're getting paid.
And they are getting paid. One thing that I notice about racism is he's absolutely correct. It's not going to end. And I thought about certain things that are not going to end in the United States because it's too profitable. Feminism will never end in the United States. It's going to get worse. There is too much money made from women being single. It's too much money. Too much money off of women being single mothers. There is too much money being made. Too much money being made off of older, lonely women buying pets. Too much. Not saying that men don't have pets, but not like the cat ladies and the dog ladies. It's too much money made off of feminism. That is not going anywhere. Single mothers, like I said, it's too much money made off of single mothers through the child support system. The court system will never allow us to be convinced to get back to the family unit, to where there's a father and a mother in a household, even if you're married or not. The court system will never allow that. Never allow that. They'll continue to convince women that it is better to just be a baby mama than to be a wife. That is the social norm right now. They use social media to hype up it's better to be a single mother than a wife. It's too much money. They're not going to put out propaganda or a campaign against feminism and against single mothers. Single mothers will always have WIC. Single mothers will always have, hey, you need money for a college degree? Hey, we'll loan you some of the money. You need somebody to watch the kids? We'll give you the money for somebody to watch the kids while you're in college. We have shelters for single mothers. Homeless men, they can stay in the streets. But single mothers, we got you. There's always a profit for mothers to be single. Racism. I don't care how long you guys fight for equality. Much of the equality that's needed, other than the systematic racism that still exists, Black people can overcome and be financially stable. With $1.6 trillion, you can't tell me the white man holding you back. Not with $1.6 trillion that you spending. You spending $1.6 trillion. What the hell they got to do with the white man holding you back? You're spending $1.6 trillion. That's not keeping you from a job. That's not a police officer pulling you over. That's not a politician that's not looking out for your community. That's not the system holding you back from buying a house. You are literally spending $1.6 trillion on BS. You cannot blame that on the white man. Y'all got to stop that one. Your spending habits are your spending habits. So when it comes to racism, it is too much money that's being made. Everybody's in on the hustle. And he's absolutely correct. The only way that racism will end is when those who created race categories and racism stand up for it to come to an end. And that's white folks. Only white people can end what they started. And they never will. Never will. Remember, like I said in the book. Black people were raised to believe that if it's equal fitting, if the field was equal, if the opportunities were equal, then the results would be equal. White people were raised to believe that if the opportunity ever became equal, they'd be losing out. That something would be taken from them. Those blacks will come take your jobs, and then they'll come take your homes. Notice that in every era, they've always told white people one thing: something is going to be taken from you. Every politician has done it. From the dawn of this country all the way until now, they've always told white people something is going to be taken away from you, whether it be from outsiders or whether it be from those in your own community. There's too much money made. You know how many billions of dollars that are made? How many hustlers are out there in the name of racism? The last thing that will never end in the United States: police brutality. And I don't mean police brutality in the physical sense only. I mean what we're seeing on these videos. That's not going to end the United States. That is never going to end the United States. The prison industrial complex needs the police to be like that, where you got the bad cop and the talkative cops. The bad cop and the talkative cops. They need that. Every city has them. That's why we all who live in different cities can relate to these videos that we've been watching. That would never go anywhere. I got you, Uriah Cowgirls, for the exit. That would never go anywhere. So if Police brutality is not going to go anywhere. Feminism is not going to go anywhere. Women rather be single than married is not going to go anywhere. Racism and the economic benefits of racism is not going anywhere. Who should be the ones that should be going somewhere? Andre Spence, as well as the other 9 million Americans that have live in other countries right now. We're the ones that decided we're done waiting for feminism to go somewhere. I'll go. We're done waiting for racism to go somewhere. Don't worry about it. I'll go. We're done with waiting for single motherhood being celebrated to go somewhere, and waiting for the marriage structure to come back. Don't worry about it. I'll go. While you guys are sitting around singing Kumbaya as white people, Kumbaya as black people, and as Latin people, make your money. I ain't mad at you. But when y'all say, if you don't like it, you can get the hell out, don't worry. I'll go. Let's end this live stream right here. We've been at 3 hours plus. We're going to have a live stream tomorrow night, a real short one. And we're going to be talking about the cost of living in the United States compared to the cost of living in Colombia. So you guys get a breakdown, like an actual breakdown of, if you're going to move to South America, what would it literally be like your first 6 months in South America compared to your last 6 months in the United States? I'll say that again. Tomorrow's live stream is when it comes to, is America the greatest country in the world? We're going to be talking about cost of living. We're going to talk about the first 6 months of living in Colombia, how much you spend compared to the last 6 months in the United States, how much you've spent. Shout out to you, Dave, and all you other guys around here. My man says, so once I realized that fuckery will never change, that's why I accepted MGTOW, that MGTOW mentality. Absolutely correct. Shout out to you, Big Pit, and all you guys that are in here. Let's get ready for this exit with the Cowgirls.
Suecia, Barbados, lo baila.